Okay, let's get started, shall we? So, I've already done most of the prepare work for this series. I think I may have forgotten a few things, but we'll see how much we've actually forgotten. So, we have our empire. It's quite small. Total population is only 25 million right now, but we do have a bit of extra population growth and factory production modifier. For the start, at least. Like, the idea is for this run that once we reach about 400 million total population, then we'll turn those back to just a regular 1.0. And then there's a few other things in this. So we have the research, survey, and terraforming speeds set to 25%. I also have the difficulty set to 75%, I think. For the time being. Once we meet some NPRs, we'll have a look at how badly we are outgunned here. I mean, probably pretty badly, to be fair. Especially if we meet missile enemies. But we'll see about that. But yeah, we got our stuff set up. We got a few ships, actually quite a few ships, if I remember correctly. Of course, we got 5 cargo ships here. That's enough to transport one full regular installation at a time, because these ships only have small cargo each. Then we got 1 colony ship with a capacity of 20,000 colonists. Then we got 1 support vessel, which has actually quite a bit of fuel and MSP, and it can also tow ships if need be. And then we got a troop transport ship. We got 2 survey vessels and 1 7th rate, or like I suppose we could call it escort, but it's more of a like a cutter or something like that. Just a fairly small ship. But we'll be training that from the beginning. And we'll probably build more eventually. But right now, I don't think we really have the fuel production quite yet to have too many things. Hello, Nika. How's it going? Right, so that's the ships, more or less. We got a tiny bit of units already. We got 1 regiment with 2 infantry battalions, 1 light cavalry, and then light mortars. And I already did all the basic unit types, so that we don't need to research those. Hello, Matt Morrow. Never imagined seeing Aurora on Twitch. It does happen from time to time. And yeah, so we got the basic unit types already, and a few different types of formations. Nothing too fancy. I mean, the tech levels that we have are still quite terrible, so I don't expect these to be actually capable of fighting. They should be able to do some policing, and they can kind of act as a basic formation that we just keep on updating then later on with the updated units. This game has too much macro for your brain. You're probably not the only one, to be fair. Right, so we got the ships ready. Let's actually start giving some orders to our survey vessel. So we'll go with the standing orders, just 3 system bodies or locations, and refuel, and where's the overhaul? There we go. I'll do the same for Romulus 2. And I'll actually go quickly through the ship designs. I did those before. I mean, we've had a few iterations of these in previous runs already, so they shouldn't be too much different. We got just 5,000-ton ships as the 7th rate, and one of them is the survey ship, which can survey both planets and gravitational survey points for finding jump points. And then the other one is just slightly heavy armed, and yeah, there's not too much difference in there. A cheaper vessel to keep the population happy, or at least not rebelling. Then we got a cargo ship, colony ship, support vessel, and troop transport ship. And those are mostly similar ships, like the engine size and the hull size and all that are all the same in all of them. And there's just some of the components are different. But yeah, they are all 12.5 kiloton ships. But yeah, we got those. We don't have a massive fleet, of course. But I think Oh, right, production. We already have set... Oh, I've already set up the production, and it's nice and balanced, so we got everything should be done at the same day, more or less, but it's gonna take quite a few years to get there. Our population, since our population is so small, we actually have a tiny bit of worker shortage, but it should be fixed rather soon. And yeah, we basically have no extra workers right now, but of course, since the population growth is quite massive, 11.11% per year, I have a feeling that we'll be reaching about 100 million relatively soon here. And then in terms of mining, well, we do mine a decent bit, and we got really good galicites, at least the accessibility. We got plenty of uranium. Thorium is okay, like the accessibility isn't too great. But we do have at least 2 gas giants in the system, so let's actually take a look. This is a random system. I haven't surveyed any of these yet. I just modified the terrestrial planet over here to make sure that we can actually have a proper colony there. And yeah, so there's 3 gas giants actually. There's also 2 comets which might have resources in, and ooh, it is actually a rather old system. It might not be, or it's at least a little bit older than Sol, for example, in usual games. So yeah, that's potentially going to be an issue in terms of resources, but since I have the rules set up so that every jump point should be stabilized from the beginning, so we shouldn't, or should be able to expand rather quickly. And then I took the gravitational survey sensors research already, so there's few things that we have researched already aside from the usual stuff for the Trans-Newtonian start. If we have a quick look at the completed text, so we got the Trans-Newtonian technology, and we got the, well, these are still part of the beginning stuff. We got high power microwave and a carronade, just the first levels. And we have them named appropriately, so we got 4 times 6 pound cannons and sharpshooters. And then ground combat, I got the troop transport base unlock, and then a lot of ground units, but that's about it. In logistics, I got, well, we got the cryogenic transport. I did unlock the fuel storage large and ship-to-ship tractor beam. Everything else is the usual. Then on missiles, we got 4 different types of railguns, which are basically for point defense purposes, but we call them deck guns. And there's just different side of or different sizes in there. So how much there's there. And then we got the Bulkhead Armor, which is just a magazine with a lot of hit points. And eventually we'll be able to get a slightly more better, or slightly better. Technically I could have gone for the 10 hit point magazines from the beginning, but that would have given a negative magazine size, so I'd rather not do that. Not that, I don't think it's gonna actually break anything in the game, but there's always a risk, so I'd... And besides, it gives us a reason to upgrade some of the magazine techs, even though we are not going to be using missiles in this run. Actually, the only weapons that we are going to be using is carronades, which we are going to be calling cannons, then railguns for deck guns, although we might also have some other railguns, like bigger railguns at some point, and then high-power microwaves as sharpshooters. And yeah, that's all the weaponry that we'll be using in this game, or this run. Then in power we got the jump point theory, just so that we could unlock the sensors, and a few different types of engines here already pre-made. And yeah, the engine and reactor techs were from the beginning. And then we got quite a bit of various sensors and that sort of stuff in here that I pre-made. And then we got the sensors there, but that's it in terms of research. But I think we should have... Oh, actually no, we don't have everything. We haven't put anything into be researched yet. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to start with... Actually, the fuel efficiency might not be a bad idea. I'll put in 1 for that one. Unfortunately, the research speed is rather low, but I suppose 9 years isn't that bad. Then let's see, construction and production. I think we really want to get something in here. I mean, we want to have a lot from here, but I think we're going to start with the construction speed. So we got this one, put in 1. So we only got 3 labs right now at the start. We are building 2 extras, and eventually we'll just need to build more and more. But we're starting really small. Right, and then you want to go for energy weapons? I mean, I suppose that is an option. We get the bigger carronades. Would be fairly cheap. I suppose we could. Okay, well... Ooh, well, that's going to take a while. But the other two aren't not actually that bad. But yes, I think now we have everything set up. I got the Governor Aurora set up, I got the admin command set up, and all that sort of stuff, so... Just to make sure that everything is moving, yeah, these are now going to survey. Let's put in the events down here. Oh, it's still showing the... Oh, did it not? No, it did. Oh, is it showing all the old events here? Wait. That's not how it's supposed to work. Okay, let's give it another... There we go, now it's actually doing correctly. Good. I was worried there for a moment. Okay, new mineral deposits in North Sea A3, Moon 4. Some uranium. Okay, so that must be one of the smaller moons. How many have we surveyed yet? We only surveyed that one and... Oh, that one. Right. So yeah, it's a small moon. I mean, I suppose it's a bit of uranium. But if need be, we can mine that out. Fortunately, it doesn't have much population capacity, so it needs to be done by automated mines most likely. Oh, another thing on this run, we're not going to be using the civilian shipping at all, nor the civilian harvesting. Although the mining companies will still appear from time to time. Okay, let's go on automated terms now. I think should be fine. Oh, we have found some new things, and we just got on 2nd Regiment headquarters. Commander assigned. Yeah, I believe we did find some more minerals in here though. So, oh, okay, that's a 900,000 thorium. Only 0.3 accessibility in there. What about the other one? 200,000, 0.6. Okay, so that might be the better one to start harvesting, and then that's the moon with the uranium. Okay, but at least we have thorium in here. So that will be good in the long run. We got another unit trained. Let's go ahead and assign the infantry battalion there. That is going to be interrupting the game quite frequently right now, since we're getting everything set up. And actually, take a look at the galaxy map here. Display that one. System bodies. Warship locations, there we go. I want to have the ship because it took some time to actually take away the... Well, actually, it didn't take all that long time, but it took a little bit of time to get the icon. Then populated systems, definitely. Sectors we could, but we don't have any sectors right now. That's kind of a moot point, I reckon. Shipyard complexes. Naval headquarters, maybe... Well, I suppose we could keep it there. Maintenance locations. Doesn't be... No, actually. I don't think we need to have both of those. Maybe just maintenance locations. It's pretty hard to see the colors, all of the stuff in there. And alien control systems... Ground survey locations, maybe. Oh, capital range, yeah. And low colony cost, normal gravity. Number of comets in planetless systems. Security stages might be good. Discovery date. Okay. That should be, although I do admit it does make it a bit difficult to see, so maybe we'll take that one away. Good. So, we got that set up. I'll quickly give it a save, although I don't think we need to. But let's go ahead and get for... Oh, actually, I didn't assign the Redcoat Battalion to the 2nd Regiment there yet. Let's take care of that one real quick. And we should be getting, yeah, a howitzer battery, which is actually just cruiser anti-personnel units, but yeah, it has a nice firepower. And they'll be in, like, defensive position, giving support into other units if need be. I suppose they could also be in offensive. Or in attack position if need be, but hopefully these particular units don't need to be fighting. It's just mostly to give a bit of extra garrisons if need be. Let's see, so supply battalion trained on London. Right, so we'll assign that to the 2nd battalion, or 2nd regiment rather, and use for replacements. That should be fine. I'm not going to give the field position for these yet, because that's kind of a wasted time really. But I believe we built all the troops that we were building. Have found some more minerals, and we started surveying the points already. There's the comet. Oh, and there was some... Oh, point detected. Good. So we can now exit the system if we want to. Let's take a quick look at the resources. So that is another... Oh! 210 million thorium at 0.4 accessibility. So that accessibilities in the system have not been quite stellar. But hey, it's better than nothing. And the comets, let's see. One has tritanium, which is kind of useless for us, because we're not going to be using any missiles. And then the other one has Borona and Galizai, which is actually not bad. So we definitely want to earmark that for ourselves. Is it this one? Yeah. So we'll create a colony there. And that's the duranium. And all the gas giants. So oh wow. There really isn't a lot of minerals in the system. Okay, well that means that we'll need to exit the system rather quickly. Right, how much do we actually have fuel? We've almost gone a full year. Fuel reserves are still... okay, we're still getting a little bit, but I suppose our ships have not gone back to refuel yet. Let's take a look. Logistics report. Oh, the deployment time... oh, right. That's a problem. There hasn't been anything that broken... or has... nothing has broken down yet, but I think... North Sea training, I'll give you standing orders to deployment time exceed overhaul a colony. I'll send you back to the London Reserve. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll move it to the North Sea Navy for the time being, so they can actually start overhauling, because it is very much a possibility that things will start breaking in here soon. And I'd rather avoid that, if need be. But how much did we gain training, actually? Almost 40%, that's not too bad. The grade is a bit small, actually. That reminds me, what we should probably do is increase our training level. Go for level 3 for the time being. Well, actually, we could probably go even to level 5, because I don't think we'll be building all that many ships yet. So we'll still be gaining a decent bit of people per year. I think. At least we should be. So how much? We've got 28 million already. That's not too bad, actually. Let's close that. Let's have a look. How we managed to... we have managed to build at least one construction factory, and probably one, yeah, one mine as well. How much do we still have thorium? We got a total 1650. We are using quite a bit more thorium right now than what we are mining. So that is kind of the reason why we're not building quite as many refineries as we perhaps could. Let's actually have a look. How much? Oh, Mercassium, we got 100,000, which isn't too bad. Accessibility is only 0.5 though, so we're mining at half speed essentially. Corundum is... oh, that's gonna be a problem. Only 71,000. We didn't find any on this system either. So, yeah, we are gonna run out of Corundum in due time. At least probably before the century is over. Because we are moving fairly slowly. Okay, so we got the... oh, right, and they started the overhaul. That is going to take some time though. Oh, and the survey vessels went for overhaul as well. Overhaul's completed on the survey vessels. Let's take a quick look. How much fuel do we still have? 2.11. Okay, so did they actually refuel or not? Because I suppose the distances are so small in here, they might not have had to refuel yet. They're still at 76%, so I don't think they refueled at all. I mean, they do have like a range of 40-something billion kilometers, which is not bad for this early ships. Not to mention since they don't have any of the fuel efficiency stuff. But we'll see if they can find some more places to... oh, and the Spike has completed overhaul. Right, so we can move this one, presumably back to the training. And did you actually manage to get some... you did manage to get a little bit of training during the overhaul as well, because the commander in North Sea Navy does have a bit of training bonus. And probably the captain of the ship, actually. Oh yeah, crew training of 100. Okay. You got terraforming speed of 20%. That might not be the most optimal commander then, but oh well. Or not necessarily the most optimal command for the commander, let's put it that way. We don't have terraforming modules research right now, and it's probably going to take quite a while. Oh! We found two jump points at the same time. Well, I'll be. I suppose one thing that I could do, if I was to stop the survey on, or the training on the Spike 1, what we could do is we could send them, or send the ship over to the other systems to kind of figure out what's in there. That might actually not be a terrible idea, although we can probably afford waiting until the training is completed. It wouldn't take that long. And yeah, now the North Sea training needs to overhaul again. Let's actually close that. So how much do you have? 73% already, so it's just one more trip to training, I reckon. North Sea Navy, just move you there. It's already 1702, so that means that we're probably... Oh, and orders assigned, going to refuel at London, both at the same time. They do have a decent capacity for fuel, but I suppose they haven't used that much fuel yet, so actually our reserves should be fine for the time being, probably not for very long though. Actually, are we... Oh, we're losing money. I see, that's probably because we are making supplies. I mean, let's actually have a look. Building was 136. Maintenance supplies, yeah, if we stop building those for the time being, we got a decent stockpile for the time being anyway. So what we can do is we can save up a little bit of cash at least and not run into deficit, that's for sure. And we got 2.5 million available workers already, so if and when we find planets that we want to colonize, we can already start colonizing them. Little by little, to be fair, but we can still do that. Actually, how much are we paying for the ground unit maintenance? Not massively. That shouldn't be a problem. Oh, and Spike 1 completed overhaul. What I suppose I could do is yeah, you got 75% training. What you'll do is you'll refuel at Colony. Then I'll want you to transfer there. And then we'll see what happens. Actually close that. Almost there. System discovered. Great. Okay, and... Oh wow. The furthest planet is... How much? That's probably about 300 billion. About 400 billion actually. Okay, well that's a bit a long distance there. What are the planets here though? There's nitrogen methane. A lot of liquid, so that might potentially be methane-based organisms there. In theory, it's quite rare to be happening, but could be. Then there's some sulfur dioxide. Okay, pressure is 14, so that is kind of a Venusian atmosphere, the first one. And that one has not quite as much. So it's a frozen planet. Rift Valley is over there. They got one gas giant, two gas giants, one super Jovian, and a couple of dwarf planets. Okay, so how far is that planet actually orbiting? Yeah, 402 billion kilometers away. Okay, well that is a bit of a distance, I would say. I suppose what I could do is I could just go quickly to the... Which one would it be? It would be Crete 2 that we'd be going to. Yeah, we'll just quickly go there and then run back. How far is that? It shouldn't be too far, I reckon. North Sea training. The Crete 2, move to. And then move back to North Sea. Then refuel. I'll give you some new orders at that point. Well, someone got promoted. Nice. Well, we didn't spot anything there. I mean, I suppose it is possible that we were just going too quickly, so it didn't have time to spot us. I mean, on the other hand, if there had been any civilization there, we probably would have spotted the signature quite a while ago. Or relatively far away. I guess there's nothing to worry about here. And also, trading has arrived back home. Okay, so let's put you back into training. You got 75% training done already, so once we complete that, we can then send you back out to poke your head into other systems, which should honestly be fine. Right, yeah, that should be just fine. Oh, deployment time exceeded. Oh, hold on a minute. There's max training and... oh, they began overhaul as well. That is what stop there. Okay, but yeah, you got max training. I'm just gonna move you to the London Reserve. London Reserve, you are already doing overhaul. That should be fine. Then we can move the London Reserve around. But yeah, having the training early on, or max out early on, especially for beam-fire ships, is really important. Then we can just upgrade the ship over and over again to keep the crew training. Because that makes quite a difference in combat situation. Right, let's actually have a look. Back to North Sea. How much are we surveying? There's still a little bit that needs to be surveyed, but not too much, I reckon. We haven't found... I mean, of course, there's no other resources found. There shouldn't be. There's not many places to survey. Right, let's go on auto turns. Actually, let's have a quick look at the economy. So it is now spread out by about 2 years with the deadlines over here for all the completion dates for most of these. There's actually a couple that have been delayed a little bit, and then one that is going to be done slightly sooner by the looks of it. Actually, 2 of them that are going to be done slightly sooner. How are we doing in terms of resources? Sorium is still going down. Everything else seems to be going up now, so that's good. You haven't gotten too many... actually, you haven't gotten any mining bonus, which is a bit a shame. Tonnage maintained 15,000 tons. We could have 26,000 tons. So we could technically afford building another ship if need be. Maybe we do want to build another survey vessels. Or, yeah, but I think just one is going to have to be enough. So survey fleet. Romulus 3. Going to be done in August next year, so it's almost a full year that it takes to build one of these. That should be fine, I reckon. They do have a fairly high fuel capacity, though. Luckily, we've been spending most of the time not moving with the surveys here. Oh, new Crown Officer. Overhaul completed on Romulus 2. Good. That should be heading out soon then. And overhaul completed on Romulus 1. Overhaul completed on Spike. Alright. So the reserve now go into an export 2. That's going to take them 10 days. Okay, Cyprus. We'll probably rename some of these systems later on, but right now I'll just let them be the island names. Right, so is this... it's not quite as massive a system as the previous one, that's for sure. Do they have any interesting planets? That does have quite a bit of oxygen. So this is not quite breathable atmosphere. It's a bit too much oxygen in there. It needs to be at most 0.3 and they got 0.4. So we'd have to remove some of the oxygen, but this could potentially be quite an inhabitable planet. Of course, the temperature is also minus 75, so that's a bit cold. But we could fit in 39 billion in population there, so we might actually want to start bringing in some infrastructure in there soon enough. Assuming that there's no one living in there right now. Then how many gas giants is there? There's 1, 2, and there's technically 2 super Jovians, so 4, 5, 6, at least 6. Right, so there might be quite a bit of thorium in those as well. And is this All terrestrial moon could have almost 4 billion population. Isn't really that bad. Does have some water, but it's the temperature is a bit cold. How quickly does this have the terraforming speed? I don't actually know. Well, it's quite a bit bigger than Earth, so it would probably be relatively slow. What about the other one? This one, it should be actually relatively quick. Right, well, I'm not going to put colonies in here quite yet. The London Reserve, I think what you are going to be doing is go back and then poke your head through the last one. Then we'll have some new stuff for you to do, I reckon. Aucklands. Oh. Okay, so what do we have here? We got 10 planets, 63 moons, so that's a lot of gas giants. 2 terrestrial planets which are not too bad in terms of temperature. There's just no atmosphere in there. And the first one is quite small, only 500 million could live there, and the other one has 3 billion. Not too bad, I reckon. And then over here they got a little bit of oxygen in there, and nitrogen, so there's a tiny atmosphere there. It's quite cold though. I mean, I suppose it is quite a bit further away from the star, and the star isn't particularly bright. And yeah, then there's the gas giants, so there might be... Actually, this is relatively young. Let's have a look at the other places. So Cyprus is 4, Crete is 3. So all of those are younger than North Sea. Right then. I think we can work with that. Right, did I give you orders to move back yet? No, okay, so go to North Sea, go to London, refuel, and then you'll probably just... Actually, yeah, you can overhaul there. There we go. So this is quite a bit smaller. It's not a small system, though. Oh, but there's a lot of Lagrange points in there. Well, there's one over there already. Interesting. Yeah, it's not particularly wide here at the center, but there's 2 planets that are quite far. Right, but let's go back to North Sea. And get the turns running again. Okay, Spike completed overhaul. I think it can stay there for the time being. The Romulus are still surveying, so that's good. Now we just need to hope that there's not any... Oh, maintenance problem. The maintenance problem. Romulus 2 had a maintenance problem. There's 50 maintenance supplies, and it still has over 470, so it's not that bad. At some point we do need to survey or resupply the vessels, but we can probably survey the remaining portion of the system without any problems. Might have to... Oh, right. They might have to refuel once, but... Oh, hey, we got the Romulus 3. Right, survey fleet. We'll detach you, put you under the survey. Standing orders go to 3 system bodies or locations. Fuel less than 50 refuel. Deployment time exceeded. Overhaul colony. And I think I want to take you to... It was Cyprus, wasn't it, that had a bigger planet. So you'll go to Cyprus and probably give you the actual order, other than just double clicking there. Right, so you go to Cyprus and start surveying. That should be fine. And I suppose I could give you orders to go just to move to system requiring gravity survey. Yeah, that should be fine. Have a quick look at the ships though. So that one is at 90% MSP. That is 100. Okay, so it's not too bad. You're getting pretty close on deployment time though. You've got 22% training on those 2. That's actually not too bad. Got 22% grade, so that's quite nice. Got 12% grade. Alright, because you were built during the better crew training level. commander experience. Oh, and both of them are now overhauling. Fair enough. There are almost 2 completed overhauls. Let's have a quick look at the Cyprus system. So have we found any resources here yet? Not by the looks of it. Oh, right, because we started doing the Travel survey first. Okay, well, I suppose it could be worse. Keep an eye on this. Okay, and Romulus 1 completed orders. I think Romulus 1 will need to go and get something new to do, because you already reserved both of those. I suppose I could send you to Crete. Well, actually, before I do that, refuel and resupply, then go to Crete. Might find something interesting there. Or we might not. Oh, we did find some resources there already, and we got a maintenance... Oh, maintenance problems. Pause for a moment. Right. So what did we find at Crete? Oh, one of the comments says, that's not too bad. Over 200,000 sorium, bit of boronite and neutronium. I think that is worthy of a colony. So let's create a colony there. And just to be sure, Cyprus, we haven't still surveyed any planets, or maybe we have, but we haven't found anything. Just to make sure. Yeah, we haven't surveyed Cyprus 9. It's just 12 planets, but survey that eventually. Oh yeah, that was the planet that we do want to start colonizing as soon as we surveyed that. Right. Situation on the Romulus 2 right now. You are still surveying. Kathmandu, thanks for the resub. The belly is getting really big now, just 1 month until Twitch, baby. Indeed. Oh man, so that's gonna happen in June then. Assuming that you're keeping the subscriptions up until then. I mean, to be fair, it might be a bit rude to abort the Twitch baby at that point, but you know, things happen sometimes. Right, so Romulus heading out. This one's already... Oh, right, you're doing your overhaul. You're also a bit low on fuel. I can't give you... Oh, I could give you the orders, but you wouldn't be listening quite yet. I'm gonna go with manual clicking for the turns right now. So we found some... Oh, that's a lot of uridium there. Quite a bit of mercasium. But not particularly good accessibilities. It was this moon? Yeah, it was this moon. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any extra resources there either. They could have a decent population in there, at least. Not the worst thing. Ah, system surveyed. Right, gravitational survey completed in North Sea. Excellent. I think you need to go and refuel, resupply, begin overhaul, and then we'll send you to the Falklands. Because we can. Okay, so with 5 years in, let's have a look at the productions right now. Okay, there's already a bit of rounding errors in here with the completion dates, or rounding errors that were present at the first or beginning there. But we have built a total of 8 construction factories now, so the construction speed has increased a little bit at least. We're doing in terms of research, we are about halfway done with the fuel consumption upgrade. Because then we'll need to redesign our engines to actually utilize that, but it's not too bad, I suppose. And then the carronade is still going to be relatively far away. Of course, that carronade is not going to be very quickly firing. It's going to have firing time of like once every 50 seconds, so once every 10 turns. But it does have a decent range and damage. At point blank. Okay, commander experience, good. Overhaul completed on Romulus 3. Right, Romulus 3, I think it's time for you to actually refuel, and then you can go back to Cyprus. I think it was Cyprus where I wanted you to be. Making sure you're on Crete, yeah. Then you are going to be, once you're done with your overhaul, you'll be heading out to... It's actually not going to take all that long. new minerals in Crete. Let's have a look. So that is one of the smaller moons. Bit of duranium, tritanium, mercasium, and galacite. Good accessibilities, but the quantities are pure crap. And Romulus 2 has completed overhaul, so you can now head towards the Falklands. Do your surveying there. Probably should put your... Oh, you know what? I can just give them manual orders right now, but eventually we'll need to put it on go automatically back once you've done your overhauls or refueling. It may lead to some slightly annoying things to happen from time to time. We got 1.8 million liters fuel reserve still. Those are going to wear off rather soon, I'm afraid. Oh, and we got 1/3 of our research facility built already. That's nice. Okay, more experience. One time exceeded on Romulus. Well, you should be heading back home then, I guess. Yeah, you are. Ooh, energy weapon scientist. That's about 10% research bonus. Can only have 5 research labs. Considering that that's still more than what we have total, it should be fine. Although we actually have a bit better researcher on energy weapons already. Oh, and the power and propulsion researcher has got an extra 5% on their research speed. That's quite nice. And yeah, production speed is still going to take a massive amount of time. Well, since we are on the 25% research speed, so things are going to be slow. No way around that. How much? Oh wow, we already have 6.6 million available workers. Yeah, the population is already 43. Considering that we started at 25, that's been quite a decent increase there. Of course, like the lore-wise of how we are, or at least I am thinking this, is that we don't actually control the entire planet yet that we live in. We're just the only ones that have the access to the technology to go into other planets, but we're still slowly conquering the planet. And once we reach around 400 million, then I say that we control about half the planet, and at that point I'm going to take away the bonus for production and population growth. Because we've got 25% on both of those right now. But, you know, it helps us grow up quite a bit at the start here. New officers, overhaul completed on Romulus 1. Okay, Romulus 1, you've been in... I believe you've been in Greece, so I'm going to send you back there once you've refueled. Ooh, new minerals and survey potential. It's minimal, but there is at least, so that was increased. Crete A8, Moon 22. Okay, there's over 4 million tons of tritanium, 3.5 million tons of mercasium at 0.6. Ooh, and over 6 million tons of uridium at 0.5, and 4 million of corundium at 0.1. Okay, well, that is certainly a place for a colony then. Which one was it? It was... Hold on a minute. 8 Moon 22. So this one. We'll create a colony there. There was some minerals in here. Okay, that was a really small quantities and that was a really low quality. But I suppose we could create a colony there just in case. Because we've got the inner planets to survey. And apparently a ton of moons. Also, oh, right, yeah, we did want to create a colony in... Oh, we already have a colony there. Never mind. I'm being too quick for myself to realise that, but oh well. Okay, new mineral deposit in Crete. That's Moon 5 of that same planet. Ooh, that's a lot of duranium, boronite, and fenderite. All of which are going to be quite good, and rather good accessibilities actually. It's a total of 2.2. Alright then, I think we like to put in a colony over there as well. Which one was it? Moon... Yeah, this one. And then no, none of these had anything else in the between there. Alright then. Yeah, let's go forward to January. Oh, and Cyprus 10 has 6 million boronite. 39, almost 40 million uridium at 0.9. Okay, that's actually really good. And that is just a... That's just a dwarf planet, isn't it? Yeah, it is. No, it's actually a terrestrial planet, not even dwarf planet. Alright then, colony cost is a bit higher though, so it needs to be probably either a lot of terraforming, which is going to be rather slow by the looks of it. But yeah, we'll put in a colony there just in case. Have we found anything in there yet? No, not really. Alright, then I'm pretty sure that there's going to be something over here. Some sort of resource at least. If there isn't, then that's kind of sad. I mean, it can still be really useful as a large colony in this system where we can gather up all the resources from the moons. But hopefully there's something. But yeah, let's get to January. There we go. I'll give it a save, and then we'll use the Electron over here to have low maintenance ship. This bike has lost a tiny bit of MSP there, but it's like 10 points. I don't think that's really a problem. But if that's the only warning that we have right now, then things are going quite nicely actually. Loan time exceeded on Rebels 3. Okay, that should be heading home then. Numerals in Crete. Okay, that's 150,000 thorium at 0.9 on a gas giant, so it's definitely worth harvesting. Because we don't have the technology to harvest anything like that yet. Bit of tea, and then we continue. Oh, minerals in Falklands and Crete. Oh, hold on a minute. Seems quite promising. Oh yeah. Over 4 million duranium at 0.9. So how much is that total? There's Galata, corundum, mercasium, carbonite, neutronium, and uranium. So that's actually really useful resources there. Total accessibility is 2.2. It could be better, but it's definitely worth a colony. A colony cost is only 2 anyway. And it can have up to 3 billion in population. So yeah, we'll create a colony there. I think that's the first place that we're going to start transporting infrastructure into. So yeah. Now the question is, do we want to rename these systems a little bit? Might be worth it. Have a look at the map mode here, or map. So we got, if we have North Sea here, we could name, maybe we'll name Falklands into the English Channel. That might not be the worst idea. Right, so let's close that. Falklands, rename system. Oh, we'll just name this the channel. Hoping that there's going to be at least another place to go from there. If there isn't, then, well, we'll need to figure something out then, I guess. What about Cyprus? What's this? This is a bit low luminosity. What about Crete? Crete has, well, not particularly better either. I suppose we could name Crete into... There are a lot of mountains. There's Rift Valleys, Ice Fields. What about Cyprus again? So there's Tundra. A lot of frozen planets. Okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna be... Don't remember if that's how it's spelled. Kattegat, anyway. And then the other one is gonna be... Hold on, which one is first? Coming from North Sea, is Skagerrak or Kattegat? I know that those two are in there, but I don't remember which one is which. Now, I could easily Google that, of course, but that would be cheating. Right, so Crete, let's rename this to Arctic Sea. And we'll go with that for the time being. Right, so in the channel we found a lot of... Oh, right, and what did we find at the Arctic Sea then? I It's a moon. It has a nice amount of uranium and gadolite. Okay. Yeah, that sounds decent enough. Was that on... Yeah, that was still on the 8. So on this particular moon, yeah, we'll get a colony there. Oh, these are now called Crete. That's a potential issue. I mean, I suppose what I could do is delete the colonies and then recreate them. That wouldn't really be that big of an issue, would it? On the other hand, the names aren't too bad either. Like, not that important yet. We'll probably rename them once we actually have populations in there. So, yeah, I suppose we can just leave it be for the time being. Right, but we do need to start bringing in stuff for one of the colonies. Which one was it? Was it, not that one. The one in Falklands, yes. I suppose I could rename this into... Plymouth. Yeah, that could work. Right, so, let's go ahead and take the cargo ships. Cargo fleet. Load infrastructure in London. So that should be a total of 10 infrastructure. And then go to the Channel. And Plymouth, unload all installations. Go back to North Sea. Refuel at London. It's going to take you about half a year to do that trip. And we'll repeat that 4 times. So it's going to get us to 50 infrastructure in there. Maybe we'll do it 9 extra times, so the total of 10 times for 100 infrastructure. That should be enough for 500,000 population. Which should mean that they can work at least a few installations. Yeah, and that's going to keep this fleet busy for quite a while. But not particularly quick ships, to be fair. I mean, the speed isn't too bad for this early ships. But the carrier capacity is a bit low, so they need a lot of trips. Right, well... We should be... Oh, and Romulus 2 exceeded deployment time. Right, let's have a look at the North Sea. So, cargo fleet is now on its way to the Channel. Although... The jump point locations don't really match. I mean, I could always just move them around if I need to, or if I want to. Need wouldn't really be the correct word here. Commander experiences, that's good. Look, so the Channel. Going to Plymouth, so that's all the way there, I believe. It'll take quite a while, but at the same time, it was going to take about half a year. To make one trip. Oh, and now we're heading back home. Good. So that means that Plymouth down here would already have 50,000 people. So we could. We have the colony ship, or the colony fleet. So you can load up colonists, then go to the Channel on Plymouth, unload colonists. Go to North Sea and refuel over there, and then what we'll do is create templates. London, so we don't need to redo that every time, and that should help with at least some of the micromanagement here that we're gonna have to deal with. But that's gonna be the first population outside of London, or at least our home planet anyway. Romulus 2 completed orders. Hold on, so where were you before? History, you were in Falklands, which was named into the Channel, I believe. I think so. Okay, so you can... Oh, right, you actually need to refuel and resupply, and then you can go back to the Channel. Oh, the cargo fleet is coming back for the first round. Oh, deployment time exceeded on Romulus 1 on Arctic Sea. Well, that should be heading back home soon. So presumably the colony ship has... Oh yes, the colony ship has already done its trip. We should probably get a governor here. Population growth is probably fine. I think we need to have mining and then maybe production in there. Assign governor. That's decent population growth, but no mining bonus, unfortunately. You don't have mining bonus either. You got a little bit of wealth generation at least. So it could be worse. I do wonder. What was the minerals in here? Oh, right, yeah, it did have pretty good minerals. It has mercasium and uranium, both have good accessibility. If we can get a couple factories in here, they can start producing their own infrastructure and then start growing that way. We can also, well, we do need to get some mines here first, of course. But it does take some time to have enough population, or enough room with the population there. We got 2.7 million liters of fuel right now, but I have a feeling that that will start going down soon. We got a decent chunk of supplies right now, but we could probably start producing a bit more. If we have it, or if we let it go for a year or so, we'll. Well, it's not going to be quite double, but it's not that far up. So we can keep that going for a while. Of course, that does mean that we are going to be losing money quite rapidly. So maybe we'll wait until we have like 1,000 wealth. Overhaul of Romulus 1 completed. Romulus 1, where were you before? Sounds like a murder mystery. Well, I'm trying to figure out. So you've been in the Arctic Sea. That is where you will be heading out soon again. I do want you to do your refuel and a resupply though. Transit over there, and London Reserve. I suppose you could resupply there, but I don't think there's going to be that much requirement. So far we haven't found any new jump points though, so that's a potential issue. Okay, Colony Fleet return to London. How much could we have in Plymouth right now? We have... Okay, we could have up to 100,000, so we could easily do another trip. Or two. Let's do 2 trips with the Colony Fleet. Luckily, now we can just use order template and repeat that. There we go. So that's going to take more than a year. Right, let's keep an eye on the wealth again. Got a new naval officer and some promotions because of that. Mineral shortage of thorium at London. Oh no. So it begins. One of the many problems that we'll have with thorium. Right, but we have increased the... Oh, right, but the refineries now require over 600. Have we increased the production? Oh yeah, that has gone up a little bit. Okay. So I think one of the survey vessels will need to stay at home soon, because we are going to have some problems, especially if we want to do some of the logistics right now. And we can't really afford building another ship or ships. So it's going to be somewhat slow. I mean, once we get a bit more mines, we are going to get another one. Well, at least we'll get 1 this year. Maybe, probably actually 2 this year. No, not 2, but at least 1. And we already got 61 construction factories, so we'll build 11 total. It could be a lot worse. Have we gotten... No, we haven't gotten any mass drivers yet, nor have we gotten any tracking stations. Or... Oh, okay, we are going to get one rather soon, actually. Then financial centers a little bit, so that should actually help a little bit with the income. Not massively though, but maybe enough to at least offset some of the cost from the supply production and that sort of stuff. And I know we got the mineral shortage of thorium plaguing us right now. It's a lot of commander experiences. Mineral shortage, right? Ooh, new mineral deposits in the Arctic. It does have low survey potential. So which one is it? It's A4. That good? It is colonizable. It doesn't have a breathable atmosphere. It actually has a bit of a dangerous atmosphere. And it's a bit cold. It does have a lot of water though, which is quite nice. And it could... Oh, wow. 25 billion population gap. Okay, well, that's actually worthy of a colony. Just because of that. And then minerals. There's 100 million mercasium there. 2 million corundium. I mean, the total accessibility is only 0.6. So that's really bad for getting the mine or the minerals out of there. Although, once we do the survey there, that might increase the accessibilities a little bit. Probably not massive amount of extra minerals or new minerals, but yeah, it could be a lot worse. Is this? Okay, so that's one of the small ones that has a decent selection of minerals. I suppose it should be fine. Oh, and it's a Rift Valley. I don't remember how the Rift Valley affects the defensiveness, though. But yeah, I suppose once we get some extra cargo ships, we could probably start colonizing this already. It's not that massive colony cost, so we should be able to do it. Oh, and more minerals in the Arctic. Ooh, A1. It doesn't have survey potential, but it does have good minerals. Oh yeah, that is quite a selection of minerals, and Vendorite is really good there. Corundium is also quite good, other than the fact that there's less than 10,000 tons there. But, you know, you can't have everything, unfortunately. It's a bit high pressure, and quite toasty. 750 degrees Celsius. Might not want to live there. But some ultramarine mines there should be quite nice. Yeah, there's a lot of Vendorite, Mercasium, also some Duranium, but not very high quality, or quantities rather. And not particularly high quality, to be fair either. Not deployment time exceeded in the channel. Okay, so how we managed to increase the production of thorium? It's still at 360. The government doesn't give any bonuses. But hey, I mean, at least it's 360, so that means we can produce about 60% of the... Well, actually, not quite 60%, I think. Yeah, it's a bit less than 60%. Like 55 or something of the annual production. About 700,000 liters per year, so could be worse, but the fuel reserves are going down right now. Also, the wealth is going down quite a bit. I think we can stop the maintenance supply production for the time being. The Crown Falls officer, mineral shortage, the usual stuff. New minerals in the Arctic. Let's have a look at that. Actually, we're pretty much looking at it already. Right, which one was that? That was A2. Ooh, that is quite nice resources. Accessibility is, again, quite terrible, but 22.5 million mercasium at 0.8. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. Also pretty decent population cap there, but the... Well, actually, the colony cost isn't that bad. It does have water. It doesn't have a breathable atmosphere, and it's actually slightly dangerous because there's ammonia, well, not much ammonia, and methane in the atmosphere. Diameter is actually slightly less than what Earth would have, so it's not that bad in terms of terraforming it. It's still going to take a long while to do it, but it can be done. Just need to add in a bit of oxygen there after removing the methane and ammonia, and I suppose that's about it, really. Be pretty much livable after that. Like the temperature is, ooh, the temperature is really good there. 24 degrees already. It will probably drop a little bit once we start terraforming it, but that's not really a problem. That would be a nice mining colony there, no doubt. Was this? Oh, right, yeah, this is going to be a good for... This could be probably some sort of production center. I think that might be a good idea. Not necessarily a full-blown production center, but kind of producing stuff for the system itself to reduce the transport times. Right, order's not possible. Romulus. Oh, right, you're in North Sea. You should be doing your overhaul, shouldn't you? Yeah, you should. There we go. The mineral shortage, of course. We hit January. We'll have a look at the Aurora Electron again to see if there's any problems that we need to take into account. Okay, so Romulus 3 completed overhaul. That was in... Ooh, right, you do need to refuel, and I have a feeling that that is going to start eating quite badly into the stuff there. So what was your history? You were at Arctic Sea. By the looks of it. So you'll go back to the Arctic. Mineral shortage. What is not possible. Oh, Romulus 2. Right, you're still at Nazi. Oh, right, yeah, you did your overhaul now. Right, so you've been in... I think Kattegat, right? Quickly check that. Discovered minerals in Falklands. Oh no, so you've been in the channel, haven't you? Oh, you can go back there. See what we can find. Have we started doing any of the surveys yet, I wonder? Unsurveyed... Okay, so we surveyed 9 already at the channel. 8 at the Arctic Sea. And... 8 at the Kattegat. So that's, interesting. We haven't found any jump points here. Hopefully this isn't just a pocket universe within the universe. Because that would be slightly unfortunate. I mean, we can always just add in some extra locations if need be. But hopefully we do not need to do that. Oh, cargo fleet is returning. Let's actually have a look. How is Plymouth doing? You could have a population of 200,000 now, which is not too bad. It has 70,000. It does have available workers enough for at least 1 mine, which would be quite nice. We could start getting some of the minerals in there, and then... I mean, the speed that we'd get the minerals is quite terrible still, but having a bit of extra production wouldn't hurt. And yeah, after that, getting... Like, I think we're going to go for 5 mines to start with. Then we'll maybe get 5 construction factories, then we can start building some infrastructure in there, and then we can start transporting more and more people into the planet. And then we don't necessarily need to bring as much infrastructure ourselves. We just produce what we need to, and then we can bring in some more installations once the population increases. I think that's a relatively smart idea. Romulus 1 completed also, or cannot do anything here. You do need to refuel, so I'll have you do that first, and then you probably in Kattegat. Yeah, that's the jump point 2. You can go back there. Oh, maintenance problem. Oh no, we used 10 maintenance supplies. Still have over 500 of them. Yeah, we don't really have a massive problem with that. Although actually, I think at this stage it's probably warranted to just put in the move to system requiring crab survey on all of these. That's going to save me some micro. They might go to the same system then, but that's not really a problem. Not right now anyway. New mineral deposits in Arctic. There's a little bit of duranium core. Ooh, actually that's quite a bit of carbamide. Not particularly good accessibility, and titanium. It does have a low survey potential. Let's go ahead and... Which one's that? That would be... No, we already have a colony there. It was a moon. This one. I suppose we can create a colony there. It's not particularly well colonizable, but we can probably utilize that at some point. Or at least I hope so. Research completed. That's the first research that we've done. Huzzah! Let's go ahead and have a look. on what we should research next. I mean, we could go for the better reactors. We could try to go for the max power modifier. I mean, that wouldn't take too long, I suppose. We could also... capacitor recharge rate for the faster reloading cannons would also be quite nice. That would require a bit more power on the ships themselves then. Because it would still probably keep the max damage higher, but yeah, I think... I think we're going to start with the max engine power modifier. Put that, and then we'll put in the capacitor recharge rate to the queue. I'm not entirely sure if that research is going to live long enough to get a third research going after that. But we'll see. Or another research going after capacitor recharge rate. And they do have, well, ooh, the Carinate research has gotten a bit of boost on their bonus. And the construction production has gotten up to 10%. It started at 5%. Well, technically it started on a different category altogether, but I switched it to construction and production since we kind of had a need for that. I believe it used to be crowned units researcher at 20%, so it was switched to 5% when switched over. Right, so channel, we found some Vendorite, Sora, ooh, and Corundum, okay. That's actually quite good. So is that just a planet? No, it's a Moon 12 on A6. Moon 12 on A6, so this one. Okay, I mean, it's a decent mineral, so 2.5 accessibility, it's a bit high colony cost. Although the population cap is quite nice, so this, well, I think it's still better to use automated mines for that, probably. Let's create a colony there. Oh, hold on a minute, did it actually say that... Oh, wow. It gives quite good accuracy on the population right now, before it's in the millions. So it's 76,500. Right then. Yeah, at least it's growing. Commander experience on... You commanding anything? Oh, right, you're commander on the 2nd regiment headquarters. Right, it was a land commander, not a naval commander. Oh, and Romulus 3 has exceeded deployment time. Arctic, so that one should be returning home soon enough. But now I think we don't need to worry about the ship too much. They should be doing the survey on their own. And now it's January, let's give it another save. Have a look at the Electron. The low morale crews, the other survey vessels, have a bit of a problem because they exceeded their deployment time and low efficiency population. So Plymouth doesn't have anything being produced or anything like that. Well, there's no work for them, which is why the efficiency is 0%. Ooh, okay, 78,000 already population. Could be a lot worse. Definitely be a lot worse. I mean, are we still transporting? I think we... No, I don't think we are transporting any more colonists there right now, but that population growth speed there is quite nice. Of course, there is the 25% burst from the our nation itself, or the race itself, and then extra 20% from that. So yeah, that does go quite high there. So we have available workers already 60,000. We could have 250,000 right now with the infrastructure. It should be going all the way to 100, so that would be 500,000. And how much are we producing in here? 0.2 infrastructure per year. Okay, that's not very quick. Eventually we'll start having it a little bit there, but that may take some time. I remember at least at one point there was a bit of a bug that you'd have to restart your game after the population reached certain numbers so that they'll start actually producing the things in there. Like infrastructure and the trade goods. Of course, on our run, the trade goods are not really that important because we don't have the civilian shipping active. Of course, we can activate that at some point if need be, but at least we'll start without it for the time being. Ooh, we've gotten a lot of money again. How much do we have extra? Well, here now. Might be just enough to be able to activate the maintenance supply production again. I'd rather reach at least 1,000 or 10,000 in there. Let's have a look. So Saurium was still... Okay, we're mining 372. And we should still be... Yeah, it's still quite... or a lot less than what it needs to be. And fuel reserves have dropped quite dramatically. So I don't think we'll be sending out the colony ship out at the time being. Once they actually reach back home. We're all completed off... okay. And officers, mineral shortage. Oh, and a lot of ships are going back to London, or some of the server vessels were going back to London anyway. And cargo fleet is coming back here, good. That should mean that Plymouth now has 60 infrastructure. No, 70. Oh, okay. And the population is going to be growing relatively quickly. Early on here especially, so we don't necessarily need to be transporting too much colonists right now because we just don't have the capacity to transport that many things at once. That is kind of the problem that we have. New mineral deposits, the Arctic. A909. This one. It's quite low quantities. The qualities aren't bad, but the quantities are a bit low. I mean, it might be good for automated mine. Or a few automated mine station mine that. And the corundium is actually going to be quite useful. And the mercasium, carbonite, and tronium. Yeah, I'll put in a colony there. Just so that I don't forget it entirely. The more mineral shortages. Oh, it's still the same saurium shortage that has been plaguing us for quite a few years now. Well, not that many years, I suppose. Hey, we found another jump point. Finally. Oh, well, I mean, I suppose we did have all three in here. Yeah, that's good. We now know at least that we can continue through the Arctic seas somewhere. Now, where that leads, I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Wow, that planet goes really close to the jump point here. So that... how long is the A9's orbit time, I wonder? Gravity is relatively high. I mean, it is super Jovian. 110 years. Okay, so it's not really a viable option to have a service all the tracking stations in there because it's not going to be there for most of the time. Well, good to know, I suppose. If it would have been, say, 20 years maybe, then that would have been a more viable option. Right, you're heading back to North Sea. Do we have fuel reserve still? Not really. Okay, I think Romulus 3, you are going to be the first one to be cut off from the standing orders. I'm just going to put those there, so you're not going to be moving out anymore. Going to London to refuel and then overhaul. You might decide that you don't like those orders because the AI does that from time to time. Okay, so you completed your orders, you're currently doing your overhaul, so that's good. Oh, and Romulus 2 is trying to refuel, but there's no fuel to refuel from. That's not good. I mean, technically there is fuel. We got one of the oilers that hasn't been used at all. Dolphin. Transfers fuel to colony. That should drop about 3.5 million liters. It's going to take quite a while to be refueled there, but that's going to help at least a little bit. Keep at least 2 of the ships or survey vessels out exploring. New scientists, energy weapons, yep. Thorium retirement. Right, that was unassigned officer. I presume it was an officer, I could be mistaken though. That is the cargo fleet. Okay, how much do we have in Plymouth right now? We got already 81 infrastructure, so we've gotten at least one produced locally, and we got 100,000 population. Again, the available workers is quite small. But I think once the cargo vessels or the cargo fleet has completed their orders of transporting the infrastructure, we'll probably carry at least one mine and maybe... Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, at least one mine so we can start mining, and then maybe a second mine or a construction factory so they can start producing a little bit of infrastructure there. And then the colony ship can start taking over. For a little while anyway. Overhaul completed on Romulus 3, and... Oh, yeah, it completed orders. Probably refueled, actually. Some point detected in the Arctic. Ooh. Okay, so somewhere in the center here might not be a bad idea to keep some tracking stations. Either that or the comet over here that is going back and forth. That would be allowing us to keep in kind of track, at least on the North Sea jump points, most of the time. Mineral shortage in Sorium. Well, again, nothing new there. Research completed on the Carronade. Good. We're currently getting the... no, we're not actually getting the faster fire rate. I'm not going to design the new cannons quite yet, though. Because I really want to get the faster reloading before we do that. Is there anything in logistics that we might need? I suppose there is. I mean, there always is something to research. Question is, do we want to focus on the construction rate or the engine? I mean, this few research labs is quite challenging, to be fair. Oh, actually, we do have defensive systems researcher. How much does it cost? 2,500 points to get the bigger armor. At the same time, I think that might be worth it, because that's going to give quite massive amount of, well, a significant amount of tonnage freed up for the next set of ships once we actually start designing them. Which would either mean more cannons or more tonnage for the power or other things like this. There's a lot of options that we can go to once we have that. Deployment time exceeded on Romulus 1 by the looks of it. Okay, so yeah, the shortage is happening like every... Hold on a minute, so it's 2 days and then 3 days. So yeah, it's like 40% of the time. Or 40% of the increments, more or less. Right, we've still got 2 million liters of fuel, but that is the final reserves that we have. That's not good, but we are producing a little bit extra now. How much extra are we producing? So we're producing... Hold on. 390. I'm going to pick up the pocket calculator that I have over here, and do a bit of calculations. 390 times 2,000. So we can produce up to 780,000 liters of fuel per year. Honestly, well, it's still quite bad to be fair. But it's better than nothing. Right, well, let's keep on going. January again, let's have a quick look at the alerts that we might have. Dominion ships. Romulus 2, well, it's not that bad. Like they've used a tiny bit of MSP there. But that's really a non-issue, to be fair. And okay, the population in Plymouth is now already, well, it's 105,000, but we haven't brought in any new people there lately. So it's just growing naturally, but it does have the speed of 15%, so it's going to be growing by another 16,000-ish. And during the next year here, so yeah, that's going to be slowly more and more. And how many trips does the cargo fleet still have? The refueling, and then it's gonna be the last trip for the infrastructure until we give them that order again. Probably should have made it into a template, to be fair. Or we... Oh, another jump point in Arctic City, so there's multiple jump points. Let's... Hold on a minute. Why are we not showing the jump points? Ah, unexplored jump points, there we go. Well, that helps a little bit. I think we can close that, and then... Let's keep on going. Oh, new scientist. Oh, crowd combat research with 30% bonus. That's really good. And that's gonna be a young researcher. That's gonna be around for a while. It is already 1711, so that means that, historically speaking, we are already Britain instead of England. But yeah, we've been focusing on Arctic right now, so I reckon that there's going to be quite a bit of jump points in the other areas as well. Let's see, Sorium. In fuel production, of course. Deployment time exceeded on Romulus 2. Wait, oh, it probably went to refuel and then it got back here and then realized, oh, well, I do need to get some rest for the crew and ship. Cargo fleet completed orders. Right, let's go ahead and create the template first for the infrastructure. So load installation. Infrastructure, we actually got quite a bit of infrastructure in here. And go to the channel, Plymouth, unload all installations. And go to London and refuel. Create template. London. Infrastructure, there we go. And then I'm gonna remove all, because we want to get a mine in there, so we'll take one of those. Of the... That's gonna make the problem with the Sorium even bigger, although not gonna drop it that much. Like, one mine is only 6 Sorium per year right now. Yeah, it's not really that bad. Let's go to Plymouth, unload this, and go back to London and refuel. Question, do I want to... I suppose we could do it already. So, load a construction factory. Does slow down some of the constructions in London a tiny bit, but again, it's not that massive impact on the grand scheme of things. Then go to the channel, Plymouth, unload all installations, North Sea, and refuel. There we go. I suppose the London Reserve could also resupply just in case. And is this? You're sitting in there, you got your full MSP, so you don't need to do anything. You got 55% training, which actually isn't that bad. And that has 72 and 71 on the other two Romuluses. Okay, so at least they got a decent training speed. Of course, well, actually, yeah, it is going to be useful for the survey vessels as well, to a certain degree. Because they do have a little bit of weaponry. It's just basically one carronade, but, well, technically speaking, in our roleplay here, it's 4 6-pounder cannons on the survey vessels, and the combat variant of the ship has 16. So all in all, very small armament, but it's still something. Oh, right, yeah, you resupplied there, good. New naval officer. Not really that many things happening right now. Suppose we can probably go on automated turns right now. Oh, oh, right, it's going to be complaining about the mineral shortage. Oh, we had the overhaul completed on the Romulus 2, but it should be heading back down here, I reckon. Yep, there it is. And deployment time exceeded on Romulus 1, so that should be heading back to London. How is our fuel reserves doing now? Badly. Okay, did we get the... Because we do have the mine in here. We are already mining mercasium and uranium. I think we might want to... Oh, right, we are bringing the construction factory already here. Now, to be fair, our population capacity, or the population that we have here, is rather small. What we could do is we could go and drop another 20,000 in here. But at the same time, that would use some fuel, and we can't really afford using it right now. Not for too much. I mean, the population is going to grow over time here anyway, so... Consider that it's still going to take some time for the ships to be... do their trip. I think the population will grow enough for it to not be a problem. I mean, even if it is, it's not going to be that big of a drop. So we produce... Okay, we produce 1 Galisat Granada per year, according to this. And Neutronium. Carbamite is not too bad with Mercasium at 5 per year, and Uranium is 9 per year. Considering there's only 1 mine, it could be a lot worse. We already have a stockpile of Duranium and Mercasium. So once we get the factory in here, I think we're going to put in 100 infrastructure to be produced. It's going to take a long while to be completed, but that's going to allow us to keep the population, or let the population grow organically there for a while. Oh, Arctic Sea gravitational survey has been completed. I'm pretty sure that we've done also the... no, there's still a little bit to survey there. But that might just be some very far... Oh yeah, it's probably that planet. Or was there another? Oh, or that one. Or both. Yeah, those are a bit far away though, so I don't think we'll be able to reach them. Even if we try to. I don't think we'll try. Okay, well, we've done the survey there at least. You should be heading back to North Sea, I suppose? Yeah, both of them are going to North Sea, so I think they're going either to Kattegat or the Channel. I'm not entirely... Actually, probably... No, Falklands was... Okay, so Falklands is the further away, so that's Channel... Yeah, no. They are probably going to go to... Well, actually, if we have a look... Arctic is closer to the Channel. Well, no, I don't know, actually. Well, they're going to be heading to one place or another. That's all that matters. Oh, yeah, they are actually heading to Kattegat. Well, at least one of them is. One time exceeded... Oh, you just got there. And how bad is the fuel shortage now? We got 300,000 litres. So it's quite bad. We've still got 71 construction factories. Total of 1,000 build points per year. I mean, I suppose it could be worse. Ooh, we're actually not that far away from getting a research facility. And we got a pretty good amount of available workers here. That's quite nice. Well, I do say, or I do admit, I'm kind of tempted to actually just put on the civilian shipping on, but not their harvesting. Because that would allow there to be a little bit more traffic around. And that would then also, that would allow the colonization to go faster. Overhaul of Romulus 1 completed. That's nice. I just realized there was something about the governor of London, I believe. Maybe the shipbuilding bonus increase or something, I don't know. Oh wow, we have no fuel available there. Alright, then I think we need to ground another ship. Currently surveying, but I think I'm just going to remove all. Go to North Sea, London, resupply and begin overhaul. And then we're just going to take your standing orders away. How long is that going to take? A month. Okay. Not a short distance by the looks of it. Okay, well you got into London. Overall is going to take some time, but at least you can get your training up in the meanwhile while sitting at the port here. What is Sorium? Well, yeah, knew that. We knew that. Since I read that every time, and I read that aloud, and whoops. Here we are again. Oh, right, we got the engine power modifier increased, so we can get a bit more effective engines if need be. Of course, well, or a bit faster engines, so basically just better sales, I suppose, or something like that. But yeah, we have that option available now. We'll get the capacity recharge rate. How long is that going to take, I wonder? Actually, 1729, so that's 70 years? Okay, that's a bit of a time. Oh, and the defensive systems, yeah, that's also going to take quite a while, so we're not going to be getting any research done anytime soon. Until we get another research facility, which actually isn't that far away. Less than a year away, I think. Oh, and the cargo fleet has completed their orders, so we should have the Plymouth already producing things. I believe we do. Yeah, we do. We already produced 5 infrastructure in there with the industry. And there is available workers again. Not enough to actually build anything, but they're there. Okay, so how do we want to transport next? We could transport more people. Or we could get a bit more infrastructure. How much do we have in London right now, I do wonder? 85, sorry. Would be any good locations to colonize in here in the Arctic? If I remember correctly, hold on, that was quite small quantities. Probably better to check out the colony cost, because I know that there was some place in the Arctic had pretty decent colony costs. What are these two? Oh, right, you got 25 billion, so it might be worth starting to colonize this, actually. Now, is there anything in here? There's a little bit of minerals there, actually. Quite massive amounts of minerals, just that the accessibility is bad. And whereas this one, well, doesn't have that much better, but it does have a lot of mercasium. So that might allow us to start producing some research facilities in the Arctic. Might not be that bad, actually. But at the same time, the fuel is the problem, so I don't think it's wise to send the ships out right now. I just slowly go. Well, actually, how long is the year in London? You wonder, because we're going around rather quickly. 108 days, okay. Short seasons, I suppose. Ah, new minerals in Kattegat. Oh, now that's a lot of uranium. 460,000, a 1.0 accessibility. Then less than 1,000 neutronium and 80,000 boronide. It's not too bad. So which one is that? That's A6 Moon 1. A6 Moon 1. So this one. Oh, I suppose we can put in a colony there. It's low gravity. It's probably gonna. Ooh, well, it's a low gravity, but it could have a decent chunk of population there. So the gravity is. It's relatively close to regular gravity, actually. Well, not regular gravity, but in the, well, relatively good gravity, let's put it that way. New admin. Oh, you got some building in you. Well, we haven't built any ships lately, so. Oh, and Romulus is gonna have to go. Ooh, we got the research lab. I think we should put it on some existing research. It might be good to add on this one because that increases the speed quite massively, and that means that the research is going to be done in about 7 years, which I think is going to be quite good. And then we're going to maybe get the better reactors after the queue there, so that would be only 4.6 years. And then after that we can maybe get the better engines. And then we can start designing the new engines, which is going to take some time, but that's going to be a good thing to have for the next generation of ships. We'll probably go for a while with those ships, to be fair, because, well, we don't have particularly good research speed, and there's so many things that we do need to research. Go until 1715, and then we'll have a look at the Electron again. Oh, Potassium. Oh, right. The mining over here isn't quite good enough. Okay, well. Yeah, how much do we use per year? I mean, I suppose. Oh, 13 points. So we got a bit of a bonus for the production there by the looks of it. Oh, no. We need to stop the maintenance supply production. We've run out of money. Which might be part of the reason. I mean, there is still bonuses from the... There's a little bit bonus on the mining, but also a bit higher bonus on the production. And how are we doing in terms of the industry here? It's still going to be done in February 1725, so we've got about 11 years before these are completed. Okay, well, that's quite a bit of time. Now Channel is complaining a lot more about the mercatium shortage than what London's... Or the Plymouth is complaining about the lack of mercatium than what London is complaining about the lack of thorium. I'm sure that it will get sorted out eventually. It's just it's kind of the problem with the small stars that you really need to have a good balance on the productions there, otherwise you have problems like this. Like, it's not a hard lock or anything like that. Like, both places still have plenty of that mineral to mine. It's just we're using it faster than we're producing. So it's throttled more than stopped. Oh, hold on a minute. There's something in there. New mineral deposits in Kattegat. Oh, look. So that would be A2? Oh, right, this planet. Okay, that's actually not a bad selection of resources. That's 120,000 thorium at 1.0 accessibility, plus all sorts of other resources there with good accessibility. Max population, on the other hand, is quite dreadful. But, well, it's still 9 million. So we could potentially set up a low-gravity colony in there with some mines, and then they can get the resources out of there. Because the colony cost is only 2.0. That's actually not too bad. It's a bit cold there, but I'm sure that we can manage that. Because we are in January now. Let's give it another save, so we can have a look at the Electron. We have no warnings. That's a first. Is there any... Just the minerals. Okay. Is that all? Oh, right, there's multiple pages. Okay. Put everything in here. Oh, right, potential. Hold on a minute. Just to make sure, does London... No, it has been completed. Okay. I was scared there for a moment that, wait a minute, have I not done the ground survey here? But it should be done on the starting planet anyway, so yeah, it has been done. It had me worried for a little while there. Right, but we have nothing to worry about right now other than the shortages and the fuel. Which is also sorted. Hold on a minute. Commander experience. Oh, right, the... Oh, it increased the admin bonus for the high density uranium armor researcher. 11 labs. Okay, well, I mean, I suppose it's better than nothing. I was hoping to get the research bonus a bit higher, though. I'm slightly disappointed. But I'm not angry. Oh, and Romulus 1 is heading back to do an overhaul by the looks of it. Oh, we had a maintenance problem on. Oh, okay, so that problem means that Romulus 2. No, Romulus 1, was it? Yeah, 1. So we can overhaul. After that, you probably want to refuel and resupply, although I'm not entirely sure if it's going to do that because it's going to enter into overhaul. Retirements. Alright then. I wonder, do we have everyone still, or all the naval admin commands filled? No, we actually have one that is not Sea Command. Right, well I suppose that would be probably, well, not a rear admiral by the looks of it. Commodore. That's the lowest that can be there. I got a bit of reaction terraforming, and probably not the best, but you got a decent crew training at least. That's a decent start on that. At least it's a decent stat to have in there. Oh, overhaul completed. Right, well, I should be heading back here, I reckon. Yep, there it is. Wonder if we're going to find anything in that particular research. I stream City Skylines on Mondays right now. Yeah, I haven't updated the Twitch schedule in a long while, so I should probably do that, quite frankly. But yeah, it's currently on Mondays. The time should still be the same as on the schedule if I have it on the schedule there. But like 3:30 PM Central European summertime. We got a new scientist for power and propulsion. Of course, not as good as the one that we have, but it's good to have a backup if and when the current researcher dies. And new minerals on a moon here. Quite small quantities. Good qualities, but again, it's very little, so I'm not entirely sure if that's worth a colony. Not this stage, at least. Retirement. Right, well, let's actually have a look at that a little bit on the productions here. So we've got up to 80 construction factories. If we factor in the one factory that was shipped into Plymouth, then we're at 81 total. Over here we're still building the infrastructure very slowly. Do we actually... We could bring another mine here. Although, how is the mining for the thorium in here? Okay, we're at 438. But we would be requiring 748 right now. Okay. That's a bit of a problem. We got some extra mass drivers already, so if and when we want to start mining... Oh, right, yeah, there wasn't really that many places to mine in here on this system, but it can be useful in other systems that we already started colonizing a little bit. Now, how is our fuel reserves, on the other hand? 2.5 million now, okay. I mean, I suppose the mining has started increasing, and the production of the mines has also started picking up some speed. But that does help quite a bit. Still have a massive amount of infrastructure underway. We do have the 370 already in here, ready to be transported. I think it might be time for us to transport another mine into Plymouth then. Cargo fleet. Load a mine, there we go. It's channel, Plymouth, unload installations, then track back and refuel. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. New mineral deposits. Oh, right, that has to be a gas giant. 500,000 thorium at 1 accessibility. And production. Oh, right, that's still the mercasium shortage in Plymouth. There's a bit less complaints about it though, so we may have gotten the mine already in here. Indeed, we have. So how much do we produce yearly? 11. Okay, so that must be... Oh, yeah, Governor does give 5% extra minerals in here now. That's good. And uranium is 19 per year. So there's a tiny bit of stockpile there. Yeah, not particularly large yet. Okay, so let's... We're gonna have to wait a little bit longer before we have a proper population. Although, I suppose, now that we have a little bit fuel again, we could send in the colony fleet to bring some colonies to Plymouth. It's going to take some time, but that's going to allow us to have another installation there. Probably another mine. Or something like that. completed earlier, and oh yeah, we're almost back over here, all surveying. Didn't find any resources there, unfortunately. Overhaul orders completed on the colony fleet. Right, so we must have completed the transport. Oh yeah, actually we completed the transport of the installation a long time ago, didn't we? He hasn't been complaining about the lack of mercassium anymore. I think what we're gonna do though is they'll get another mine in here next, and after that we could maybe get another construction factory. Speed up the production a little bit. Right. So let's go ahead and I suppose we could make another order template for this, so we don't need to do this every time. So just load a mine. We should Plymouth unload all installations. Go to London and refuel. Create a template. There we go. That should be fine. We can then do another one for the construction factory at some point. Although I don't know how many factories we're going to be transporting in there. I mean, at least we'll get it to 5, so they have a little bit of production base there. Overall, we'll have to think about it. Ooh, some potential there. It's a moon of Kattegat A7. A7-2. Oh yeah, it does have pretty good server potential. Let's have a look. So that's over 4 million boronite, 2.7 million titanium, 500,000 carbamide and uranium each. And yeah, total accessibility 1.5, so not great, not terrible. Right then, I think that's worth a colony. It's not particularly colonizable, like the colony cost was pretty massive because of well, mostly the temperature is almost minus 200 degrees Celsius. So you might want to bring in a second pair of underwear. The thorium shortage from time to time, but it's not complaining nearly as often anymore. Look, so how much? Okay, we produce 444 per year. It's still actually not that close to the total numbers required. The total production that we could have is 1.5 million if we were producing at full speed. And we do have over 2 million liters of fuel reserve right now, but I think only one survey vessel right now is something that we can actually upkeep fully. And later on we should be able to activate some of the others again. We may need to wait until the first round of productions have completed. Which may still take a few years at least. Okay, not really anything that important. Unfortunately, the mineral shortage is still going to be forcing us to not go on auto turns. New naval officer. That's quite nice. And someone died. That's less nice. Okay, so let's actually have a look. So London has 123 million population, and Plymouth has about a third of a million. We could actually get another construction factory in there. We've got 3 mines right now. And we got a little bit extra mercassium there, so yeah, I think that is doable. Okay, oh wow, hold on a minute. Oh, because we have the... Yeah, we got 25% extra production. Alright then, well, let's go ahead and give the cargo fleet another order. Probably don't even need to refuel this, because they got bloody massive range, don't they? They got 70 billion kilometer range, and I think the distance isn't even nearly that high. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll just load up the construction factory and then head back. Just move to London. That's 12 billion. Okay, so we could afford doing about 5 trips without refueling if we need to. At least to Plymouth. Although, of course, since the planets move around a little bit, it's not going to be constant. And it's going to be moving a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that massive difference. Because Plymouth is relatively close to the center of the system. New mineral deposits in Kattegat A3. Oh, there's over 100 million uranium there. 88 or almost 89 million neutronium and 9 million boronite. It doesn't have potential for extra, but that's still quite a nice amount of minerals in there. Oh, right, that's the planet with the fairly good atmosphere. I mean, it's a bit too high in oxygen, but other than that, 39 billion population. Still accessibility, it's just 1. Hey, it's better than nothing. So yeah, we'll do that. I suppose we might want to start colonizing that already. Getting the population up there. And I think if we can get the population up high enough, we can then start bringing the terraforming installations there so they can start working on that. And then eventually we'll get some industry in there and all that sort of stuff, because the resources in there right now are not particularly great, but if we combine it with the resources in here, then that already brings them a decent selection of resources, and then there's a few other places that we could mine in. For example, this one. And maybe that one, also the one over here with the uranium and boronite and neutronium. Well, that neutronium is going to run out really quickly. Okay, well, how is the fuel situation? We got 2.7 million. I'm assuming that the cargo ship... Oh no, they are returning still. Okay, but let's have a look at the Plymouth situation in terms of mining. So we are producing 16 per year. And it doesn't say how much we are going to be using. I suppose we can actually calculate that. So it's going to be 14... per year in Mercasium, so that's... yeah, that shouldn't be too bad. Or it should still be a little bit extra being produced there, for the time being anyway. There's a little bit available workers there, but I think we want to let that population grow for the time being. I mean, with the extra infrastructure that they've produced there on their own, they can already have 750,000 there. Of course, they're not quite there yet. Like, they're about halfway there. Burn time exceeded. Okay, Rommel should be heading back home then. We completed the orders yet? I think we did, but I may have just missed that. Yeah, we have. Right, well, let's go ahead and load up some infrastructure from here. I'm gonna do another... Oh, hold on a minute. Was that in Arctic Sea that we wanted to go to? Moment. No, it's the Kattegat A3 that we want to start colonizing. But yeah, this one, you go to Kattegat A3, load all installations, back to North Sea, go to London and refuel, create template. Okay, so we've set that one up. It's actually about the same amount of time that it takes to take the stuff into Plymouth. That's not too bad. Question is, what are we going to name those places? Right, but we are doing that. Yeah, I suppose we could redo that the 4 times, so we'll have 50 infrastructure in there. And then we can transport a little bit of population there as well. Nothing massive, I'm afraid, but at least a little bit. Although, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to get a couple militia battalions We'll get 4 to begin with. We'll transport 1 on both of the colonies, or the one in Plymouth and another one in Connecticut, A3. But that's just so that we can keep the population in check there later on. Right now, there's not really a need, but once we hit 1 million in population, then there is going to be some need, unless we want to park ships there, and well, I don't think it's necessarily a good idea quite yet. And unit trained. Okay, so what we can do now is with the troop transport ship, we can load up both of those. So militia battalion. What we're going to do is we're going to go to probably Kattegat first. A3 unload ground unit. We'll drop the militia 2 over there, and go back to North Sea, and then go to the Channel. Go to Plymouth, unload all troops from there, go back to North Sea, go to London, and refuel. That's going to take more than a year from you, but it should be fine. And Romulus 1 completed overhaul. Good. We'll have a mineral shortage of thorium. Let me just check that. How big is a deficit is it now? Still 474 and 800, so even though we are increasing the amount of thorium that we mine, at the same time we are increasing the amount of thorium that we need. So the percentage is actually roughly the same. Well, I mean, we are about 3 years away from completing all of these. Then we're going to balance that a little bit better. Maybe not produce any more fuel refineries until we get the mines up into levels that we need them to be. That might be a decent idea. Also, I think we need to start producing a bit more automated mines, just so that we can then set up some mining colonies in various places, because I know that we are going to need some. Oh no, actually the quantities are really small. It's just a selection of various resources in that moon. But we've now trained the militia battalions that are set up to be produced. That's good. The transport ship has almost reached the planet in here, and oh right, I see. There's so many Lagrange points in here that's actually a nice shortcut. No wonder that it cuts down the travel time a little bit there. That's good. Okay, how are we doing in terms of research? Oh, capacity research rate is going to be done later this year. Well, a few months from now, actually. About half a year, yeah. Then let's have a look. The productions are still going to take some time. And the thorium shortage is still very much a thing. Oh, we've got a decent bit of wealth now. Question is, do we want to produce more maintenance supplies or not? Now, to be fair, the maintenance facilities capacity has increased quite drastically. Fuel reserves are still somewhat stable, but that means that we can't really afford sending too many ships out. Because we already got the cargo ships. Oh, new mineral deposits. Oh, that's another gas giant. 200,000 thorium. We can certainly use that. But it might actually be in our... Oh, it gave the fractions there. I see. And then we started on the pressure water reactor. So that research has been done now. And the next one is going to be done in 4 years, which isn't that bad. It seems to have actually gotten a slight boost on the research bonus again. And actually all of these have gotten increase on their bonus. None of them have gotten massive increase since the last time we checked, but hey, it's still a good thing. Have that, and we're down to 8 more factories to build. There's not going to be a massive increase in the speed, I reckon. Right, how much do we have in the Kattegat A3? We got Could have 70,000 population. Let's go ahead and send the colony ship there once. So, London, load colonist. Then go to Kattegat. Kattegat A3, unload colonist. Go to North Sea, London, refuel, create template. There we go. Now we've got a template for that. Yeah, it doesn't actually take all that much in terms of time, so that's nice. Then we're going to have the population growing there already. But we had a maintenance problem. Oh no. Oh, still got 300 maintenance supply points, but yeah, the Romulus one does need to get some resupplies at some point. You're already heading back home? You are. I wonder, well, I suppose I could try, but I'm not entirely sure that it's going to do it. But a resupply London after the overhaul. Yeah, it's probably not going to do that. Some commanders are retiring now. Or active duty commanders, rather. Orders completed on the colony fleet. Okay, so that means that we do have a second colony now growing. Again, the speed isn't that great, but we can... Actually, what were the minerals in here? Okay, there weren't that many. I think the governor over here needs to have population growth, terraforming, and then mining. Oh, and automated, please. Has this been automated? Yes, it has. It does have a little bit mining bonus, at least there. That has been automated, good. We've got 15% population growth and 20% wealth generation. Unfortunately, since there's no jobs for them, they're not going to be producing any wealth there right now. Whereas Plymouth does produce 25 already. There's 5 per facility. Because once you get the increases on there, it's going to increase it a little bit. But right now, not too bad, I suppose. And over here, financial centers do produce over 500 per year now in London, so that's not too bad. How many do we have total? 18. I'm assuming we're going to be having 20? Yeah, 20. Okay, not too bad. Mineral shortage of thorium still. Is that still happening constantly? Also, Romulus, did you... No, you didn't resupply. Let me remove that. You can refuel and resupply in there, then you can move back to Kattegat. So you don't need to be flying quite as much back and forth. Okay, yeah, the mineral shortage is still happening quite often. I can guarantee that. Or verify that, I don't know. One or the other. Oh, orders completed on cargo fleet. Okay, good. How much can we have? We could have another 2 installations here in Plymouth. So we could get another 2 mines there. And then we can get some more construction factories in there, and then it should be fine. I mean, the population is still growing with quite a massive speed. There's going to be enough population, well, not necessarily enough population, but in theory, enough population for 1 installation per year. Transport speed, well, I mean, it's not too bad. How much do we have fuel in London? 1.5 million. Okay, so we'd be using a lot of that. So we should try to limit a little bit on the operations right now. We do have technically enough thorium mining to be having 1 million liters of fuel per year being produced. Which, it is about 60% of the capacity there, I suppose. Alright, well, let's take the cargo fleet. And then order template. Plymouth mine, and repeat that once. So that's going to be 2 mines, so that's going to be 5 mines total. That should be fine. Ooh, another jump point detected. I'm in Kattegat. That is actually quite nice. Now the next question is, far are we from the... Okay, it's going to be July now, so it has sped up even further. Not by much though, so it's pretty much still at 1723. I don't think we can speed it up that much. Make it at the end of 1722 for the productions to be completed. But, well, still better than nothing. Oh, we have the overhaul completed on Romulus, so it should be heading back here, in theory. Yep, there it is. Now, still making only 500. Okay, so I don't think we've actually produced... Oh, we've been transporting the mines away, so that's kind of slowed it down. Because we have one more mine under production, so that means that all the mines in Plymouth... Yeah, we got 5 manned mines over here already. That means that we produce actually a decent amount of mercassium now. So we could easily afford building some extra. Do we have enough? We don't have neutronium to build more construction factories yet. Or basically anything else, really. Because the neutron... Yeah, it's quite sad amount of production that we get there. Oh, okay, so there's actually all these 3, corundum, galisite, and neutronium productions are really low. How much do we need corundum for a mine again? 120. And construction factory requires 60 neutronium. So making more construction factories is going to be easier. I think I'm just going to put in an extra 100 infrastructure to be made here. I mean, it is already over 200 there. But they produce a decent bit on their own, I reckon. Yeah, it's 1.4 per year. With the current amount of population there, so that's not too bad. I'm sure that it will be increasing further and further along the way. I believe we should be getting rather close to the... Oh, there was the cargo fleet completed orders. But we'll just let it stay in London for the time being, because our fuel reserves are dangerously low again. And the productions are almost done, so yeah, it's going to be end of June. So really soon. There we go. Production's completed on so many things. I think we might want to increase either the armor research or the construction rate research. I think the construction rate might be the better one. Right now, but that's going to be done in about 6 years from now. And that means that the productions will increase so much more that it actually is going to be useful in so many ways. Okay, so total population in the colonies that we have is 770,000. And then London has 163 million already. That means that we're about 1/3 of the way there. More or less to get to the 400 million. After which we reduce the bonuses that we have for both production and population growth speed. So we've got plenty of maintenance supply points. I don't know if we want to be producing more supplies right now, because it gets really expensive really quick. Now we do have 35% unused production. Ah, right, next build cycle it's going to be a bit less. I think we're just going to wait for the next build cycle, so we got the full 100% available. There we go. So, we've still got 3 other construction factories to be transported over to Plymouth. How much do we have population there? We could actually do that already. We could do that. But first things first, I think I want to increase the construction factory capacity here by another 50, but also to meet the already used one. So we'll put at 25% with 55. And then with mines, we'll probably do something similar to 55 and 25%. Then I think we want to get some automated mines. Go with 20%. Go for 5. We'll go for 20. And then maybe more financial centers at 10%. 25 of those, and then... Now I know that these are not going to have the same completion date this time. But if we try to focus on that too much, then we're going to have some problems there. I think we want to build a bit more infrastructure again, so we'll go for another 500 at 10%, and then what else do we want to produce? Maybe more research facilities. It's going to be really slow right now, but we'll put 5 at 10%. So it will take ages to be completed, but at least we are increasing that over time. And besides, once we get a bit higher construction speed, then that's going to speed up. And once we get the research down on the construction speed upgrade, that's going to speed up that by 20%. Isn't necessarily the worst. Right, so the cargo fleet, I presume, is not doing anything. Let's go ahead and load the construction factories that we want to take to Plymouth. Go to Channel, Plymouth, unload all installations, North Sea, London, refuel, and then repeat that twice. So it's going to take almost 600 days. Should be fine for the most part. But there's still a little bit to survey in here. Oh, maintenance problem in Romulus. How much? You did resupply. Okay, so that's not too bad then. Oh, I did give you... Oh, we found another jump point. Good. Another, there's at least 2 exits from Kattegat as well. This problem... Wait, is that... Man, that ship is really having maintenance problems now, isn't it? Almost at its deployment time as well. So it's probably going to be heading home very soon. Yeah, deployment time exceeded. Oh, it did actually survey the place. Good. Well, that's a good timing then, I suppose. Right, how far are we from getting the tech? Still gonna take until December. But then we can get the better reactor, so that's nice. Although with the... We did start with a size 1, or I did research a size 1 or rate 1 power plant just for the survey vessels, but I think for the next tier of vessels we're going to be having the better capacity recharge rate, which means that we'll probably want to... Oh, we probably don't need to have anything that has just 1 rate as a reactor, or rate 1 as a reactor speed, because that's not going to be enough for most of the weaponry. Some of them maybe, but most of them not really. Overall complete on Romulus. Good. I actually wonder, first things first, do we still have admin commands built? Well, we do have someone there, and there, there. It kind of looks like we do, which is nice. Let's have a look at the tips in here. So you got training 100%, you got training 100%, and you got training 100%. Got a little bit higher grade than this one. You got the best of them all. And then, of course, the Spike over here on the London Reserve is doing mostly okay. I mean, they haven't left the port for quite a few years right now. That's the only ship that we have that is capable of... well, it's the only kind of paddle ship. Well, it's basically just an escort ship, really. But still, like, that is designed to be in battle, mostly to deal a little bit damage. I mean, yeah, it's still quite small, all in all, and weak. But that's the best that we have right now, so technically that would constitute as the pride of the fleet. Right, let's have a quick look at the fuel production again. So it's 1.7 million total that could be produced. Thorium mining, well, it has started increasing again. Got a stockpile of 10 right now, which isn't all that great. So we are going to need a lot more to meet the total production quota. So yeah, that's going to take some time. Let's go ahead and get the research done for the reactors. Although the question is, do we want to try to get the engine tech first and then research both the engines and the reactors? That might be the better option, because we got a good researcher right now, speaking of which, that has been completed. So, power and propulsion, improved nuclear thermal engine technology. We've got 2 labs, but it does have 50% bonus, so that is actually, well, it's still going to take some time. Okay, 7 years. That's... Hopefully that reaches against the alive that long. I'm not entirely sure though. I suppose we could check that. So Oliver in here, how old are you? 45, you've got a good health, so you probably can research that. After that, you probably won't have time to research every engine and reactor that we have in mind, but it's still better than nothing. I'll try to capitalize on the research bonus that you have. Oh, and gravitational survey of Kattegat has been completed. You should be surveying the moons over there by the looks of it. Any other planets? No, that is the final planet in the system that we need to survey. Well, that is good to know. Oh, and we did find, well, that's actually quite pittance of minerals. So I'm not going to even mention that. Other than that, okay, orders completed, cargo fleet completed, orders arrived in London. We did already skip through that though. Has so little fuel, but that means that Plymouth now has a bit more construction factories. And do we have, no, we don't have the minerals to build either a mine or a construction factory yet. But at least we have the minerals to build more infrastructure. And now we are producing, oh, we got contraction speed of 69 build points per year. Nice. Now we got pretty good unrest reduction there right now. I mean, it's only one militia battalion, but hey, it does the job quite well. Over here we have 40,000% annual unrest reduction. I'd say that's quite effective. On the other hand, there's probably... Actually, how much do we have population there? We got a total of 40,000. That means that it is quite a significant amount of the population that the troops are overall. Although, well, it's actually technically, it depends how we think about the units. Is it one platoon of units or if it's just one single soldier? Then, yeah, it does vary quite a bit. There's technically 331 units in there. So if it's just one soldier per unit, then that would be less than 1%. But if it's platoon per one, then I think it gets into proper percentages. Once we hit January, I'm going to have a look at the Electron again. Overhaul completed. Let's give it a save. And then warnings. Low maintenance ship. Romulus has used a little bit of the maintenance. And then Kattegat has a bit of low efficiency because there's no buildings in there. And that was supposed to get the terraforming installations, if I remember correctly. Because we've got a little bit of production at least. Does it say? No, it doesn't say anything about fuel refining. At least not in this version. There might be something in the later versions. Right, I forgot that there was the map in here. Can we zoom in? We can. There's a tiny bit to survey over there by the looks of it, but that might just be so far away that it's not really worth it going to there. And then Channel has a lot to survey, but we haven't gotten there. And Kattegat has been surveyed more or less entirely. Oh yeah, Arctic Sea, it was one of the... Oh, no, there was 2 planets really far away, so that's why there's a little bit red on that circle. And then on this one, there is... Well, we're surveying about 1/4 of the planet, or bodies there. Well then, still having the mineral shortage, which should surprise no one at this rate. The officers. How far are we from the researchers now? So that's going to be done... Oh, right, the construction and production speed has increased a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be done on October 1729 right now. Actually not bad. And then the engine tech is completed in 31. And the armor is still going to take up until 1733, although we might be able to speed that up a little bit once we get the construction rate completed. We could probably then start working on the mining speed, but at the same time, you know, get a little bit done there on the armor, so we'll have a bit better... Oh, I think we may have hit our wealth cap. Have a look at the wealth and trade. So annual racial wealth, yeah, we pretty much have. Alright then, well, let's go ahead and get some maintenance facilities up and running then. Get some points. That's going to cost us a little bit of wealth, but that's fine. I would call that kind of an investment. Probably thought going up to, or down to 5,000 wealth, and then stop that again. That means that we should have pretty high stockpile of maintenance supply points again. Until we start producing a proper fleet, I think that is going to be more than plenty than whatever we have then. But it is, of course, going to take a few moments for us to reach there. Mineral shortage experience on a lot of officers, though. Actually, that's civilian administrator. The political reliability research bonus on the... That's a scientist on... Well, it doesn't say what their field is. It just tells that they have 20% research bonus and 30% political bonus, but they have... Well, they're not researching anything right now, so we don't know exactly. And we have another overhaul, but that should mean that actually... Go to the channel, we should be surveying that right now, aren't we? Ah, there's still quite a few places to survey. There is still a crown. Oh, right. Oh no, is it turning around? It must be. Is it the... Oh yeah, it's gonna refuel. Alright then. That's a bit unfortunate. How much do we have fuel left? We got 2.7 million again, okay. How much do we have? Yeah, we got over 20,000 maintenance supply points already. I'm losing some of the wealth there, but not all that quickly. I was actually expecting to lose them a little bit faster. I mean, I'm not complaining, to be fair. I don't want to bankrupt my country. I mean, eventually, basically, if you just stop producing the... What's it called? Maintenance supply points, then that usually fixes your economy. And after the early game, you usually don't even have problems with money, unless you're building massive amount of armies and fleets at the same time, and doing massive amount of research and all that sort of stuff, and not building any financial centers. Let's have a look. So we already produce over 600 tons of thorium per year. So we're about 75% in there. Okay, so it's getting better. So that does mean that our production, or fuel production, is improving, which is quite nice. We do have pretty high maintenance facility capacity. Well, I suppose we do have 3 ships in here. We could have up to 9 ships at the port without any problems. If we're talking about the 5 kiloton ships, of course. If not, then, well, that depends on the ship, I suppose. Those are the smaller ships that we... Oh, hello. Okay, A6 Moon 3. Have a look at that. 6 Moon 3, so... Okay, that's 22 million uranium, and 21 million uridium, and total... Okay, 1.9 accessibility. It is quite high population cap. Really cold, though. Mountain, okay, actually I think I want to make a colony there. Diameter is about the same as Earth, so the terraforming speed should be about the usual, other than the fact that there is the produce at 25%. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty decent planet. Oh, actually we got 2 minerals on the previous turn on Moon 7 on that planet, and then this turn we got on Moon 10, but the Moon 10 isn't that great, but the Moon 7 seems to be somewhat reasonable. Yeah, there's a lot of duranium and corundium, and some galizite as well, so yeah, we'll put in a colony there. Eventually we'll get some mines in there, hopefully. Blind I exceed. Okay, Romulus should be heading back home then. Oh, yes, the fuel reserves is almost 3.5 million now. Also, how is Plymouth doing in terms of resources? Almost enough to make a construction factory. And population cap is now 1.6. Oh. Oh. I see. How much do we produce? 3.2 infrastructure per year by the looks of it. Locally. That's not a massive growth, to be fair. They can't really grow much further right now unless we start bringing in extra infrastructure. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that though. I think we can now maybe stop the maintenance supply production. 26,000 is going to be plenty for the time being. Later on we will need to increase that number because it is still quite rookie numbers, isn't it? Right, question is, do you want to build another ship? Or do we want to send out another survey vessel? I think it might be time to send Romulus 2 out again. So let's go ahead and give that the standing orders once more. System requiring geosurvey. And then London. You don't need to overhaul, but you do want to refuel, resupply, and then you can go to the channel. And then you'll find your tasks there. That just means that we should be able to do the surveys here slightly faster. All these survey points take so long time. Oh, but we did find another jump point. We're about time, really. Where's the... Ah, there we go. Romulus 1 has arrived. So how many other places are we going to find connections to from here? I wonder. Also, shouldn't we be able... We are going to get the construction rate in October. That's quite nice. And that's... If we were to put in one more research lab on the engine tech right now, we could speed that up so much so that it's going to be done in next year, probably. Or at the very start of the 1731. And then we're going to put in some research labs on the armor. Speed that up. I think that might actually be the smart idea, because the extra lab in the engine is going to give more bonus. Or raw numbers in research. Those are the bonuses. Maybe the better option. Oh, deployment time on Romulus 2 exceeded. No. Ah, there we go. Research completed. Now, yeah, we'll put in a research lab there, so that... Okay, it's January 1731. And then we'll put in the researcher working on the mining speed. And we might want to get the thorium harvester actually out soon enough. That would be... That's still going to take a long while, but yeah, we'll put the thorium harvester into the queue. That researcher is probably going to retire before it's going to even start on that one. But oh well. At least we can get started. I presume we've done most of the survey in this system already. Well, there's actually quite a bit in at least 8, 9, and 10. How far are those? Well, 9 is pretty far, and so is 10. 8? Where is... Oh, 8 is down there, okay. Well, we're already going to survey in there then. Production of infrastructure completed at London. How much do we have of it now? We got over 1,000. I suppose we could get some more into Kattegat because the population capacity there is rather small. Of course, if we were to increase the cap in Plymouth as well, that would be able to grow further and further, which wouldn't be bad either. Right. Also, there's enough workers for one facility. I suppose we could get... do we want to get mines in here? I mean, eventually, yes. But right now, I think it might be better for us to just get the terraforming installations here, but that means that it needs a lot more population right now. And it's going to need the capacity for that. So yeah, getting the extra infrastructure in there is a good idea. So what do we want to use the extra production capacity that we have? I think we're just going to put it on the research lab because we really need more. So I'll just put that to 20%. That should be fine. And then once we've done the financials in this, we can perhaps build more infrastructure if need be. Let's go ahead and take the cargo fleet, auto template, take infra to Kattegat 3, repeat that 4 times. That's going to be keeping you busy for a while. And then let's no, auto. Go. Don't want the sub pulses to be 5 days. Romulus 2 completed overhaul. Should be heading down here soon then. Because it's going to take quite a few days to get in here. Oh, there we go. One of them stops the survey and another one begins anew. How much do we have fuel now, I wonder? Also, we got almost 4.5 million. Okay, so the amount of fuel that we have is increasing quite nicely. Unfortunately, we still do have the shortage from time to time, but it's not quite as bad a situation as it used to be. And research specialty is about halfway done there, first one of them. But we're going to get a facility every 6 years right now, which isn't really that great speed. But at least the construction capacity, yeah, the total capacity is now 2,000 points per year. That's not too bad, actually. Now, if we could get to 2,400, that means that we'd be building 5 mines and construction factories per year. That would actually be quite handy. Now, have we gotten 35 million available workers? That seems to be my problem usually. I just have a massive amount of workers that are not used anywhere. Right, as well as what I could do is I could transport a bit of colonists into Kattegat again, because we are getting more infrastructure in there. We've gotten a 10 already. So let's go ahead and take the colony fleet. Auto template. Colonists to Kattegat 3. I think 1 trip is going to be enough. For the time being, anyway. A new mineral deposit. Oh! Okay, the accessibilities aren't stellar. But that is, what, A8, Moon 2. This one. Yeah, there's a lot of boronite there. Because I don't know if boronite is something that we need to worry about, because we've had so massive deposits in a lot of planets already. I mean, it's good to have. I'll put in a colony there, just so that we remember. Didn't look like it was particularly low colony cost though, so actually colonizing and mining in there is going to be slightly tricky, or very expensive to use auto mines. Other than that, it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, and that's a gas giant, definitely. Oh yeah, it is. 150,000 thorium at 0.9 accessibility, so that's quite good quality. And we got the better engines research now. Good. Now I think it's time to put in 2 labs on that one, so we can get the uranium armor upgraded, and then... Oh, we did get the capacity recharger rate already. Okay, so power and propulsion... Actually, we're not going to do that quite yet. I think what we want to do is actually open this here. And then design tech. Could have done it elsewhere as well, but I'll start over here. Right, so what we want to do is improve the ships, and I suppose we'll just go with the 20 hull size ships that we were, or 20 hull size engines that we've been using so far. The name, so it's just small mast. I'll update the name in case we want to do some changes there. So small mast, engine power, and then 17, what the hell years? It's 31. It took 30 years for us to research our next engines, or start designing our new engines. That's quite a long while, to be fair. But let's see. The fuel efficiency at least increases a decent chunk, so that's going to increase the range that we can go, more or less. And then speed increases by 28%. I wonder, if we were to increase... we could make it 40% if we want to, but that does increase the fuel there. I think we're going to keep these at the 100% mark. Maybe for the frigates and masts and that sort of stuff, we might put in the engine power slightly higher, maybe? Not entirely sure. But yeah, that is going to give us a decent boost for the speed, I reckon. It's going to be about 500 something. Although, I suppose if we were to lower that, does it hit any nice numbers there? Not really. Okay, so we'll just keep it as it is. So, create that one. Then we'll definitely want to do the commercial engine again. So, commercial mast, and then that's going to be to 64. Oh, right. Oh, been rushing on the other side here. Okay, well, 64 engine power and create that one. Then we'll probably want to do the power plants. Leave the year in there. Remove this. Gunpowder storage, and we'll start with the rate 2. So R2. Actually make it slightly smaller. Yeah, so we'll create that one. Then we'll go for the 5. Just to have some nice round numbers to use. Then 10. We could go for 20, but I'm not entirely sure if we want to go for that one, because it does get relatively expensive. It's going to take quite a few years to get everything. Oh, right, so it's 59% extra already in that size. For a whole size, so that's not too bad. Okay, well, we've got the research kind of designed already that we want to do. Have we got on? We have got on a sensor researcher now. Actually, 30% bonus there. That's not too bad. Right, but anyway, we've got a lot of things in here to research, so I think we'll start with the small mast, because that's the one that we use most anyway. Project, and then we'll put in the commercial mast. And then we can start doing the reactor upgrade, so that one, and that one. It's not going to have time to research all of that, to be fair. Oh wow, oh wow. Storm Harvester research would take 50 years with the current speed there. That's probably not going to happen. Not with that person's lifetime. But once we do get a bit more research labs, then we can certainly put one more in there, so that's going to double the speed. A colony fleet has completed orders, so how much do we have? The Kattegat is now over 100,000 at least. So from the capacity, it's about 45% maybe, 40%, something like that. So it will be growing at decent speed there. Yeah, it does have a massive capacity on the planet itself, so once we can terraform this into fully colonizable, then the population will skyrocket. Which is going to be quite nice. Or mostly we just don't need to worry about infrastructure anymore. We don't have available workers enough to actually run the terraforming installations quite yet. Not to mention it's going to take quite a few ships to transport that over. We do have 2 of them right now. At least we should have. We do. What's Plymouth doing? We got a decent. Oh, we do have enough neutronium to actually. Oh, we're not actually producing anything here. Okay, well, let's create another construction factory in the meanwhile then. And then I suppose we could build a bit more infrastructure, like another 100. That's done. So that's going to allow us to have at least 2 million population, more or less. Which shouldn't be too bad. Oh, and Romulus 2 is going to return home. Alright then. Oh, but we did detect another jump point here. We know that there's at least 2 directions to go to. That is the last one. No, actually it's not the last one. There's another 2 to the western side of the system. I think it's going to run out of fuel or deployment time before it's done, both of those. Although Romulus 2... Oh, we just got in here, but those have been returned by the other one. Okay, well, Romulus 2, I think it's time for you to go and poke your head into the unknown. Further into strange waters. Oh. Okay, so we got another Crete. What do we have here? Pretty high luminosity. That's nice. That is actually... Well, it doesn't have atmosphere. This one has ammonia and nitrogen. Okay. Not bad temperature-wise. Oh man, there's so many moons here again. 169. Also some asteroids. Those are the first asteroids that we've seen. Good to know, but yeah, there's potential for some colonies in here for sure. For example, this one, it is a cold desert. It does have some water. Then it's ammonia and nitrogen, so if we can remove the ammonia and methane in there and then put in some oxygen... Oh, wow, actually. Just looking at the levels there, this seems very much like it might be a base for some aliens. Yes, we'll find out eventually. Oh, ooh. Actually, it's quite a large system, so already over here would be about 2.5 billion. Kilometers. I mean, the survey vessels do have a decent range, but there's still room for improvement for sure. I actually do wonder, so which one was it over here? Crete A3. Why don't we give you some new orders? So once you survey that, go to A3 and choose survey that. Because I'm kind of curious to see what's in there. Assuming that you have the deployment time to do that. Okay, so we did find some minerals there. Oh, right, that was a gas giant with quite a bit of thorium, actually. Well, we didn't see any signatures there, so I think we're fine. It might have some nice resources. It might actually even have a ruin there. Might actually be quite possible. Now, this is going to take a while to survey by the looks of it. So I do actually wonder, when are we getting the uranium armor upgrade? That's going to be done in October, so very soon. A construction factory completed in Plymouth, so we started more infrastructure production there. I do wonder, we've got enough production here still. We're going to get another research facility soon, actually. That's quite nice, and that research is going to be done in a few more build cycles. Oh no, did you not survey the system or the planet? Nope, you did not. You probably got like 90% done, and then... Or the ship probably got 90% done and then realized, oh, I can't do this. Okay, well, the other ship should be moving in here. Ah, there we go, we got the armor design or research. So let's put in another one for the mining, at least. We put another one for the engines as well, and then someone should probably start doing some survey or the sensor stuff. Get the... I think we want to get the beam fire control range. That is going to be quite important. So we can lower the size of our beam fire controls a little bit. Or increase our accuracy. So do a bit of both. Or accuracy at max range. I suppose it does affect the closer ranges as well. Well, we know that there wasn't any signatures around there, but it's very much possible that there might be some precursors in this system. If things go badly. Or if we roll badly, let's put it that way. New mineral deposit. Ooh. Okay, let's have a look. How old this This is actually a relatively young system then. So which planet was that again? A5 Moon 15. Okay, yeah, there's a... Oh, right, you've surveyed a lot of the moons already. Oh, we've surveyed a lot. Oh, that's really good ground survey potential. Yeah, that also has a decent amount of duranium, carbonite, boronite, and some thorium, and okay-ish amount of gallicite. And the quality isn't too bad, but not great either. So how much is that total? That's 1, 2.3, 2.4 accessibility. Colony cost is a bit high because it's mostly... Well, it doesn't have an atmosphere, and it's really cold. But it's relatively small planet. Gravity isn't massive. They could technically be terraformed, I reckon. It probably wouldn't be... Or I don't think we'll be able to terraform it completely, but we could certainly make it a lot warmer. Which might be worth it in the long run. And Romulus 1 exceeded deployment times, and that's going to be returning home. Right then. But we still have the thorium production problems. Oh, but it's not much anymore. Like, we have a shortage of about 60 per year. So that's really insignificant, to be fair. We do have fuel reserves of 4 million liters right now. How are we doing in terms of Plymouth? Okay, so population is still growing there, or whenever we get some more infrastructure in there, it's growing. Speaking of which, we are actually making quite a bit. Still, we got plenty of uranium there. That's good because we are going to need that in a lot of productions, aren't we? And then we could get a lot of workers in there. On the other hand, we got the production capabilities in there, and we can get both mines and construction factories produced there locally. Like, we get all the resources required for them, which is quite handy. How do we use the carbonite again? Is that on... Oh, that's... Is that... Oh yeah, it's financial centers, so we could technically get some financial centers in here. What was the max population here again? 3 billion? I suppose we could get a little bit of those here. That would lower the risks of running out of money. On the other hand, what I could do is I could get another... Well, no, we're about to upgrade a lot of the stuff already. So I'm not going to be building new ships quite yet until we can get to the next generation of ships. Oh, and we just got another research lab. Excellent. I might... Either we go for the mining production upgrades, just so that we can keep the mining up and running for longer, or we could go for the fire control. Actually, I think we put in there because that does give a bit higher bonus in the points total. Extra 20 points compared to what we would be getting at the mining production. It does lower the time that we need to research that, but we are going to get the small mass ton in October by the looks of it. That's quite nice. Overhaul's completed, good. And we now got the small mass upgrade. And since we got on the armor upgrade as well, so let's go ahead and copy the Romulus class, upgrade the armor, so that alone gives us an extra 230 tons to work with. That's quite a lot. And then the better engines are going to give us quite a bit of extra speed. Let's actually rename the class just to be Romulus 1733, because this is when we started making this or designing this. Then let's remove the masts and put in the new ones instead. I really need to rename this component just to have it in a uniform way. $128 EP. We can obsolete that component. And then let's put in the new mast in. That is quite an increase in the speed there for sure. We haven't really serviced... Well, actually, No, we haven't gotten the new gunpowder storage just quite yet, so we're not going to complete this design yet, but yeah, it's going to be a decent bit better for sure. If nothing else, we can just put in some extra... We can certainly put in some extra cannons, quite frankly, and with the extra gunpowder storage, I mean, it is going to take a bit more room, and the cannons are going to take another 200 tons of extra space, so yeah, it's either that, or we go for just Raid 2 gunpowder storage and the faster loading cannons, which you haven't designed yet, although we probably should. Design tech. Plasma carronade. So this would be... Put the no name upgrade there. How would we be using 4x 6-pound cannon? And then just put in the year there, so that would be 1733. I suppose I could either make that a prototype so I can already put it in there. But that is going to be fire rate of every 15 seconds, so it's every 3 turns we'll fire once, which isn't that great because the damage isn't going to be very high, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, we'll create that into a prototype and eventually we'll then research that. And then we'll go with the 9-pounders, and this is going to be 6 of these. We can create a prototype of that, so that's going to be firing every 25 seconds. It does have a longer range, and it does have higher damage, at least point blank. Of course, at probably around 50,000 kilometers, it's going to drop to 1 damage, and before that, it's going to be like 2 damage up until maybe 25,000 kilometers, and then it's going to be increasing quite quickly, but yeah, like point blank, it's going to be doing 10 damage, which isn't too bad. It isn't too great either, to be fair, but hey, that's usually what we have. Right, so I did do the prototype of that, I reckon. Just making sure. If we refresh tech and put in prototypes there. No, we didn't actually make that yet. Okay, well, let's create a prototype then. Then we're going to close that and then refresh tech. There we go. So on the Romulus, we are going to be changing that. And now we're going to need a bit more power production. I mean, I suppose what I could do is I could switch this one around here for the time being, and then once we change over, it's going to give us a bit extra tonnage again. And I think it might actually be better to just put it on extra fuel for the server vessel, or maybe a bit of... No, I think actually the fuel is probably fine. It currently only has 220 days of range. Of course, realistically speaking, it's not going to be moving the entire time, but I think having the extra fuel, like having a fuel a bit longer time than what you have deployment time is probably going to be handy. In terms of, it's less likely to run out of fuel, assuming that you have fuel available when they leave. Because there's more likely that it will run out of deployment time and then it will already head back because of that. And then run out of fuel while they're heading home. But yeah, we got a Romulus over here, so let's go ahead and put in these to be researched. Because I know that I want those. Now, the question is, do I want to... Probably not. We do have energy weapons research. It does have 30% bonus. Probably not going to be doing too much about that right now. Yeah, I think we'll just keep the research as is. I mean, we're going to get another research lab in about 5 years. New minerals in... Oh, Crete. That would be... That is a moon with thorium. Oh. That's a lot of thorium, to be fair. Unfortunately, it doesn't have all that many different resources in there, so... Oh, and another moon... Oh, that's an asteroid, actually. Okay, well, we could do orbital mining on there, or we can just let the civilian section deal with the asteroids. Because I'm sure that they will put in some mines there eventually. Oh, and okay, that's a Vendorite moon. Not great accessibilities, but decent numbers, I'd say. Have more mineral shortages. And ground survey potential. Oh, high potential there. Okay. That's good. I mean, it only has a little bit of uranium right now. I'm a bit surprised that it even had a potential there, judging by the resources that they rolled right now. Like 6,700 uranium, and that's it. But there might be something in there, I suppose. Ah, deployment time exceeded on Romulus 2. How much do we have fuel now? Still 4.5 million, so we can't really afford expanding that too much. But we are so close to not running out of thorium constantly anyway. So we are getting the 1.7 million liters per year right now. Of course, once we get the mining speed increased, then that's not going to be quite as big of a problem. Still going to be a problem, but just not quite as big of a problem. Oh, well, that's quite a nice A3. Oh, look. Right, this is the planet that I wanted to survey earlier, but I failed to do that. Right, well, that is a large number of resources. The accessibilities are, again, quite terrible. But there's so many millions of resources in there that I will put a colony in there. Not to mention, like, it can be terraformed. And it does have pretty high population cap there. And it does have water, so there's no lack of water affecting the colony. Because, well, technically it is, but it's so small that it doesn't really affect it. Like, eventually we'll need to add in some water to make sure that we have... or we don't need any infrastructure in there. But at the same time, if it's 0.01, and that means that, yeah, it's just a really small amount of infrastructure that we need. It's like, actually, yeah, one infrastructure will be enough for 1 million people. Okay, well, that wouldn't be too bad. Honestly, that might be a way to farm a lot of infrastructure, because it would be so quickly made. Especially once the population increases, so maybe we don't want to add in the water availability, or more water there. That'll actually be a clever exploit, so to speak. Well, let's get some forward in time. Oh, hold on a minute. There's mineral shortage and overhaul completed. Okay, so nothing important. Hey, we got the commercial Mars now. So how about we go ahead and redesign our cargo ship. So let's just copy class, update armor, and rename this to Hauler 1734. Now this one doesn't actually need any other upgrades. I mean, eventually we may want to upgrade the thermal sensors and all that sort of stuff. Get a bit more vision out of them. But we can get rid of the commercial masts and put in new ones there instead. Oh, I see. These engines are too small. Okay, I'm gonna obsolete that component actually. I'm just gonna instantly make the bigger ones. Now I do realize that we're kind of cheating there, but that was a mistake on my part. They should not have been these. So we'll just obsolete that component. Design tech. Oh no, we actually need to put in the Space Master mode first. Right, then go for the engine. We made 2 small engines. That was my mistake. Right, commercial mast. So that would be 80 EP. And then it should be the 1731, technically speaking. That was when we started making them, or designing them. So we'll do that instantly. So technically we skip a little bit ahead of, or missed a little bit of the research there, but I think it's fine. Right, just making sure that we refresh that, although technically it should be necessary. We can obsolete the commercial mast there and put in the new ones in. There we go, it's more in line with the speed. It should be 920, usually it's around there, the speed with these. So what we can do is, we want to increase the range. I mean, it's already pretty decent range. Put it on another cargo hold, I suppose. Or cargo shuttle bay, rather, not cargo hold. First things first, let's upgrade the thermal sensor a little bit. Let's go for the nodder, so that's gives an extra point in the detection range. And then I suppose I will put in extra cargo shuttle bay, and then a little bit extra fuel. There we go. So 88 billion kilometers. Now, I know that the commercial ships don't actually need to have the deployment time more than 3 months, but for roleplay reasons we are going for the 12 months. Because technically I might at some point make armed variants of these ships if need be. And then they do need to have the deployment time, and I'd rather be able to keep them somewhat similar price at least, or like most of the pieces to be the same, so although it is gonna need then a naval shipyard to do them, which may be a problem. Okay, we got one design now. Let's redo the settler. 1734. Then replace the engines. Oh, and update armor. And I suppose we can put in another cargo shuttle bay and... Although, how big are the cryogenic transports? So that would be 50 tons, that 250. So technically we could put in another... We don't put the shuttle bay. Put in another 2,000 berths in there. So that's going to speed up the colony or colonization a little bit. Then I will probably replace the thermal sensor with the modest one. And then I suppose we're going to put in another fuel storage in there and some small bits and pieces there. But the range is 82 billion for the colon ships. That should be fine, I think. Right, then the support vessel. Copy class. Rename. 1934. Update armor. Update the engines. Now, one thing that might be nice to have is if you could have, like, similarly like you have the series for ground troops, that you could have like a set series of engines so that they need to be the same size and all that sort of stuff, but then you could just upgrade engines directly. So you could, with the commercial mast that we have here or had here, or if there was just a button like replace engines, so it looks for same size and power range more or less, or you just set into a series so you can then just, yeah, we just replace with the newest engines of this series. That would be really useful. Right. Question is though, anything over here that I need to put in? I mean, I suppose I could put in the cargo shuttle bay so we can resupply things faster, because this is a supply ship. Or we could put in more fuel capacity. Either one would be fine. You know what? We'll put in one cargo shuttle bay and then we'll put in a bit of extra fuel storage. Another 2 small ones. We can probably... Yeah, there we go. Actually, we can just replace these. Oh, there's so much replacing in here. But that is going to make it slightly cheaper to make. That, and then put in a large one. There we go. So it does reduce the price a little bit. That's good. And does have over 4 million now. And the troop transport ship, we shall copy that one as well. Update the armor and rename that. 1934. There we go. And then I suppose we'll put in the shuttle bay and a bit of extra. Oh, right. Do we want to upgrade the spyglass? I suppose we could. Models before, so we'll put in the standard one there, and then we'll put in some extra fuel. And small ones, there we go. So 74 billion kilometers of range, that's still pretty decent. Hold on. Oh right, I didn't upgrade the engines there. I did upgrade them there, but not on this one. But that is actually 82 billion kilometers, that's more like it. Almost 1,000 kilometers a second speed, so yep. I think those are pretty good upgrades there. I suppose we could upgrade spikes as well. The question is though, we don't have the power plants upgraded yet, so it's kind of a moot point to do that yet, so we'll just keep on going now. Some promotions. Although... Oh, okay, that's 2 asteroids that had some minerals, not massive quantities though. On the other hand, the asteroids rarely have a massive quantity. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you get very lucky, but usually you don't. Okay, well, even more asteroids. So this would be a pretty good place for asteroid mining, I reckon. Way down. Oh, right, yeah, they're all the way in the inner asteroid belt by the looks of it. Oh, there we go. We got the Raid 2 gunpowder storage research. So let's go ahead and update the Romulus design again. So we can get rid of that one and put in the new gunpowder storage. So there, we're going to obsolete that one. We'll probably obsolete this one as well, because I don't think we need to rate ones anymore. Right, so we got a decent bit of extra power, or extra room there now. Question, what do we want to put it on? Because we haven't gotten the new cannons research yet. We technically are researching, well, you know, we said the prototypes to be researched, but we haven't actually started researching quite yet, because there's so many other things that we need to have researched. Honestly, I think just extra fuel might be best. That's 60 billion kilometer range and 270 days at full power, so that's not too bad. Now we do probably want to get a new fire controls in here as well, because the extra speed does make it so that our fire control is not up to scratch anymore. That's something to keep in mind. At least that's partially upgraded already. New minerals and a comet. Oh, a duranium comet. And another asteroid with some minerals. Another asteroid? Be a pattern here. Serving that one, we did find some. Oh. Yeah, that's not too bad, Moon. So what's that's A6 Moon 26. Moon 26. There we are. Okay, yeah, that's a decent bit of duranium, but good accessibility and some neutronium there. So we could technically, if we got some mines there, we could start just pumping out construction factories there for a while anyway. Or we can just put in mines there and shoot out the minerals to somewhere else, because the colony cost there is relatively high, whereas over here it's not all that high. Let's go ahead. I think once we reach the end of the year, we'll call the stream there, because we've been live for over 3 hours already, and I might do some, or play a little bit ahead before the next stream here. Nothing important, just doing some kind of admin work here and there. Get some colonies growing and all that sort of stuff. Right, so that moon has a little bit of resources. Oh, actually a lot of mercasium. I And Uridium, okay, well, that's actually a really good moon. So, a 6-4. Yeah, I'll put in a colony there as well. That's acceptable gravity. Oh, maintenance problem. Okay, well, it still has plenty of maintenance supplies there. There's not the end of the world. Mineral. Oh, that must be a gas giant. Yeah, it is. 3 million thorium. Right then. Not too shabby, I would say. There we go, and we are on general. Let's give it a quick save and we'll have a look at what the warnings we might have. So maintenance ships. Oh, Plymouth has... I haven't been keeping up. I should really just put in a massive production queue over there in Plymouth. And then Kattegat doesn't have anything to produce yet. It does have 200,000 population. It's not enough to run a terraforming installation yet, but it's getting there. It's only getting there. And then... oh, all the naval admins have died. Whoops. But anyway, I will be calling the stream here. I will probably play a little bit of this forward before the next stream of Aurora 4X, but tomorrow we'll be streaming Rome Total War, the remake, or remaster, sorry. And then Sunday, hopefully more Hearts of Iron 3. Monday we'll continue with City Skylines, and next Wednesday we'll continue with this. So, thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye bye.